stockpiling weapons. We still don't know why the power went out, but we're hopeful that someone will come and light the way.
We still don't know why the power went out. Now listen to me. The Minister RENDEZVOUS, gave the Jamaica Public Service Company 30 days to submit a report to say why on June 5, the entire nation, the total entire country, Jamaica, went black. The electricity went out, the power went out. And we still don't know why the power went out. 30 days from June 5, or 30 days from June 6, because the power came back June 6. And it was after that he said, 30 days to the JPS, submit a report to the OUR and to the minister, I suppose. No, I'm not saying that the report hasn't been submitted. I don't know if it's been submitted. I have not heard any story, any news, any report. I haven't heard anything from anyone to suggest that we know that the report was submitted. I think I probably should have asked AI. Ask somebody, why the power went up. But I say 30 days from July 6 to now was Monday, right? Monday gone. 30 days from July 6 to now was Monday gone. And we still don't know. I don't know if the report, I'm not saying the report wasn't submitted. I'm saying I don't know if the report was submitted. I'm getting a feedback on myself, so I know that Richard, my guest, must be online. All right, so we're going to go to my first guest for the morning. You have been asking for Richard Mackenzie, financial advisor, to come back. I am just getting a feedback on me. All right. So not sure why we're getting that. Do you want me to go to Buzz then? All right. So just having a chat with Peter to see what to do. Richard Mackenzie is a financial advisor who has worked at various levels of the financial industry for over 25 years. He has a passion for sharing his knowledge and teaching financial literacy with the hope of helping others to work toward financial freedom. He holds a master's degree in business administration, finance from UTech, and embraces any opportunity to enhance wellness, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Richard, I think, is online with us now. Richard, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Morning, Kabu.
Morning. You're up early?
Yeah, morning to your community.
Yes. Thank you on their behalf. They've been asking for you, Richard. So thank you so much for answering the call of the listeners and to come back for a second chat. You were with us just 2 weeks ago, and here you are again. Yeah. Financial literacy.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother. Financial literacy is the overarching theme that we're looking at. But just before we go deep dive into that, I noticed even the last time when I read from your bio that you embrace any opportunity to enhance wellness, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. And I noticed that when we were talking to you last time also, you speak from a holistic perspective. And I want to start there, about the importance of wellness, but physical wellness, spiritual wellness, mental wellness, and financial wellness, and how those are all connected.
Most persons who aspire to financial wellness do so because they're looking towards the future, Mm-hmm. And my thing is, what sense does it make to prepare financially for a future that you might live to see, that you might be infirmed in, or that you might not be happy in? Mm-hmm. So I believe that once you set out on a journey of, let's start with financial wellness, then you want to live a healthy life. You want to be in your right mind. You want to be happy, you know, so that you can, well, spend this money, enjoy the fruits of your sacrifices. And then if you look at it from another point of view, if you think about physical wellness, so you want to live a long time in a healthy state, you need to provide for yourself. You know, you need to do. So I think that whichever angle you look at it from, that you think you want to accomplish all of the various aspects of wellness. Because if you live long and you're not able to take care of yourself financially, it's not a wholesome existence. And if you are in your right mind, but you are infirmed or and not able to take care of yourself financially as well, you know, it's not the ideal situation. That's not what you want. That's not what one would have envisioned when you embarked on this journey of wellness. And so that is why I believe the holistic approach is the best approach.
And it's all connected. Thank you so much for foregrounding that. I think it's very important for us to know that. I want you to backtrack just one little bit too, just to remind us when we say financial literacy, what is it we're talking about? For those who didn't hear that last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Well, in brief, financial literacy is the garnering of education to ensure that you can make the best use of your earnings. You know when, you know what to save, where to invest, how to protect your investment, talking about insurance, retirement, and all of this. So it's really the garnering of financial knowledge to ensure that you make the best use of what you save from what you earn. And as I said before, that involves saving, investing, and protecting what you have managed to put away.
And we shouldn't be afraid of those words, right? Because too many of our people, when you say financial literacy, even when you say media literacy, you see people immediately put up a block. We shouldn't be afraid of saying financial literacy and understanding what that means.
Certainly not. In fact, that is one of the things. I believe that this should be a part of a grade 4 curriculum. I believe that it is that important. I don't want to throw any other thing that you do in school under the bus, but there are things that you do in school right now that are significantly less important than financial literacy, and yet still they are part of the curriculum.
Yes.
You can't get them out, you know. So I would say, if you look at countries who introduce, well, I don't have an example of a country right now to give you, or with any particular statistics, but it has been the general view that the earlier that you start to educate your population about things of a financial matter, the better the results you get down the road. You have a nation that saves more, that makes better investment decisions. And when individuals in a country make better investment decisions, it redounds to the benefit of the entire country. The country itself gets wealthier. You know, it makes better decisions. And an example of that is countries where the burden of taking care of yourself afterward, in other words, setting up a pension plan and so on, leads to more development. Because if you don't do it for yourself, then eventually in your old age, government is going to have to take up that responsibility of ensuring that you have an income in your old age. And that means that is money that is not going towards developmental purposes, that is not going towards health, that is not going towards, you know. So if individuals take on this responsibility for themselves, then it means that you have a wealthier country, you have more income to do developmental things.
Lots of companies now and workplaces, employers do not necessarily provide health insurance. How can persons get around that, and how important is health insurance?
Speaking from personal experience, given the cost of doing, you know, tests and checking your health on a regular basis, I would be significantly poorer had I not had health insurance. What health insurance provides is the pooling of the risk of you getting ill or needing to pay expenses in the health sector. It pools it with other persons So it means that you can contribute a small amount, but end up getting a large benefit simply because the risk is shared between you and other persons. And health expenses is one of the primary ways that people go, bankrupt. I know for sure in the United States and Jamaica may be a little different because now you can go to the hospital and things like that. But there are certain expenses that even the hospital won't cover.
Yeah, and that
And
medication,
I've seen
especially.
persons go home with the illness because they just can't afford the thing that the hospital is telling them that they need.
Yeah, the
I'm not
surgery.
saying that health insurance companies cover everything, but there's a lot that they do cover, and for a small amount of money monthly, depending of course on how early you start your health insurance policy. But it definitely has helped me. And so when I say that it is important, I'm speaking from a personal perspective.
Hang on
Health
there.
insurance is extremely important.
All right, let me take a quick break.
Pay Uncle $1 down per 18 to 48 months credit over Lucky Dollar for furniture, appliance, and smart TVs. The time by Lucky Dollar is
Now, 6:46, you're inside of the Africa Forum. We're talking financial literacy with Richard McKenzie, financial advisor, in this segment of the program. You asked for him again, and he's back with us, and I hope that he'll come back another time also, because this is something that we need a whole lot of time to flesh out with you and ourselves. Richard, last time, one of the things that you raised, and I think we left off without fleshing it out properly, you talked about debt, good debt and bad debt. So I want to go there now and then to move on to a little bit on investment. But what is good debt and what is bad debt, and why all? Because you said last time, not all debts are bad. It's,
Yes.
some debts are good.
Yes, I did say that.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just be clear here about when I say bad debt. So when I say in the industry, in the financial industry, when you say bad debt, what it tends to mean is you have an obligation to a loan, of some sort, a debt of some sort that you are not servicing properly. When I say bad debt here, that's not what I mean. I mean debt that you incur that is not for a purpose that is it's not for a positive purpose. And I think I use the example of people who borrow money at very high prices, at very high rates, without knowing it. People who put expenses on their credit card with no intention of settling it in the near future, and the kinds of interest and charges that you can incur by doing that. Also, persons who borrow money at high rates for a purpose that is like going to a party, for example. Persons borrow money to go to a party.
Yes.
To buy accessories to go to a party. Things like those. I would put in the category of bad debt. This is a debt that you did not incur for an investment or a developmental purpose.
All right. And so, good debt, examples of good debt would be?
Somebody getting a loan to buy a car for business purposes, for example, like a mortgage for a family getting a first home. I would say in most circumstances you would consider that to be good debt. Startup capital to get into business. Those are things that I would consider to be good debt. Education expenses, especially where that education is going to lead to you being able to be promoted and earn more. These are the things that I consider to be good debt. To be good debt.
Okay. All right. Let's talk investment. That's a big word for enough people. People, especially persons who are living hand to mouth, you're living from paycheck to paycheck. Can you even begin to think about investment, and why should you, and how can you help us to understand that?
Okay, so let us define what investing is really. Investing is buying an asset first of all. So at the very beginning of that acquisition, you have to define, is this an asset? How do you know it's an asset? An asset is something that that when you acquire it, it has the potential to increase in value and also to give you a cash flow. So to generate income. And so if you buy an asset, but the process of buying an asset is investing. Buying an asset is pretty much what we call investing. And when you spend your money on that, the potential to earn more through the cash flow that particular thing generates, or the fact that that thing will increase in value. Or it could be that the thing itself won't increase in value, but you have managed to acquire it at a price lower than the price that it is valued. That is an investment as well. So lots of persons invest without really defining it like that. 1 second, please.
Is that what you're saying? If you get a concealer investment, explain it.
I'm sorry, could you?
So if you get a concealer investment,
if you get a?
No, because if you get it lower than the price, the value, if you get it at a lower price, I'm asking if you get it on sale, if that is investment.
Well, what you buy? If you got a Birkin bag on sale,
well, there you go.
I don't know. Are you going to sell it for the right price and recoup that value?
There you go. Good question.
Right. But for example, somebody who goes to the farmer, right, and buys goods at a lower price than they are able to get it back for in the market, and then go and sell it. Well, that's kind of trading, but it's an investment. You put your money into that asset, which is whatever produce you can get, and you bring it back to the market to sell it. So you invest in an asset, and you dispose of the asset, and you reap the benefits of the difference in price. So something as simple as that is an investment, and that is what people call trading. So you see people crypto trading, currency trading, stock market trading. It basically is just that, just buying something at a lower price and selling it back at a higher price. Now, of course, once you start doing it, the intricacies of knowing, well, if I buy this thing, the likelihood is that it will do this and that. You get into the experience and the knowledge of being in a particular marketplace.
You're looking at risks and returns now at scale.
Right. Yes. Correct. Yes. So that pretty much that is what investing is. Using your money to purchase an asset that is something that will increase in value over time and has the capacity to generate an income. In short.
Okay, and let's talk about stocks or even crypto. Is it okay? Talk to us a little bit. Take a minute and talk to us about this currency trading, cryptocurrency and so on. Help us to understand if that is a good investment and what's the situation with that right now.
All right, so here, of course, you'd be asking me for my opinion.
Yes.
I'm not a crypto expert, and I know that there are persons who have made lots of money from crypto, and there are persons who have lost a lot of money from crypto. In the beginning, my general rule of thumb is don't invest in something that you don't understand. That's the easiest way to give your money away, right? If you don't understand it, chances are you won't know when to make moves in it. But there are persons who say, okay, you don't have to make the decisions. You can invest in this crypto fund, and we, the experts, will make the decisions. And there are persons who do that and make money. So far be it from me to say don't invest in crypto, whatever my personal feelings about it might be. But just as with every other thing, just be careful. Make sure that you at least have some knowledge of how it is that you plan to make money from this. I've been in situations where, something that is less volatile and more widespread than crypto, stocks on the stock market. People come in and they've bought stocks, because they're online trading platforms. You don't have to speak with a representative. You can just go on and buy what you feel like buying. And there are persons who have bought instruments without actually knowing what the instrument is. They have no idea how they're going to make money off of it, And so I would say, just like the same advice I give with crypto, the same advice I give with pretty much any other thing. Don't invest in things that you don't understand.
All right. Well, help us to
It's a very
understand
easy
how
way to
that
give money away.
help us to understand how that part of it works then for persons who are
Okay.
thinking that I really need to, invest in stocks or whatever, but just don't have a clue.
Okay. All right. So what is a stock? That's the first thing, right? When we say stock, generally speaking, we're talking about the ordinary shares in a company that is traded on the stock exchange. In Jamaica, it's the JSE, the Jamaica Stock Exchange. We have many companies listed on the exchange, and there are companies that are preparing even now to list on the exchange. So the list of those is going to expand. So I was going to try to give a illustration, but let me try
Yes.
a very short story. So let us say I have a bicycle company, a little bicycle company, and I produce 50 bicycles a year, and I produce good solid bicycles, right?
Yes.
It's getting to the point where people know me, and by word of mouth and little advertisements, my 50 bicycles are gone in no time, but I don't have the capacity to produce many more. So then I look, when I look at my business, I say, you know what, if I had a plant, if I invested in this, I could produce 5 times the number of bicycles. And based on the demand that I'm seeing, I can do that. Now, I have many choices. Well, I can ask a relative to lend me some money. I can go to the bank, or I can do what is called an initial public offering. I can give the general public a chance to invest in my business, right? So I say, all right, my 50 bicycle a year business right now is worth $1 million. And I need $250,000 to invest in this machinery. Of course, these figures are for simplicity, right? I can't. There's probably nothing that you can do for 250 meaningful to a business like that. But let's say I need 250,000. So I'm saying, all right, what I will do is I will give the public a chance to invest in 25%, to own 25% of my business. So I offer 250 shares at $1 each, and the public jumps on it, right? I get my 250,000. Time goes by. I invest in the plant. I'm producing 250 bicycles a year. So now my business is worth more than it was a year ago. So let us say now I'm producing 5 times more bicycles. The projected value of my company now is $5 million, right? That means that each one of those shares that persons bought for $1 each is potentially worth $5 now, right?
Okay.
That's what it means. So a $1 share would have gone up in value because the company itself has grown in terms of its capacity to produce, its potential profit. And when you buy shares in a company, you share in the profit of the company. A lot of times, the board has to declare the dividend, but you get what is called dividend income, which means now that you're a part owner, the company makes a profit. You are also entitled to some of the shares that the company, some of the profit that the company makes. And of course, this also makes the ownership in the company more attractive. So now persons who didn't get in on that first 250 are like, I want to get in. And of course, if I bought mine for $1, if I'm going to sell it to you, I'm not going to sell it to you for $1, right? I'm probably going to want as close to the $5 value as I can get. And so that is pretty much, in a nutshell, how you make money from stocks. You buy the stock at a lower price, and the company gets more valuable, and it produces good dividends, and people want it. So there's a high demand for what I have now. And so I can sell it for a higher price than I bought it. And in some cases, you can just hold it. If the company pays good dividends, you can just hold it and make money from it like that. You don't have to sell it back to actually make money. So in a nutshell, that is how you make money from stocks. Okay. Sometimes the company itself doesn't have to make money, but sometimes the government can introduce a policy that is favorable to that company, and shrewd investors see that, and they realize, I want to get into the stock, and therefore they're willing to pay you. So that's a good reason why you need to know how the company that you invest in makes money, because that thing comes in the newspaper, you don't see it, and you sell it to somebody for $2, and of course he sees the potential down the road, so he's happy to take it off your hands for $2 and wait for that thing to materialize. So you would have sold your stock without knowing that, this piece of news that was just broken here means that this company is going to make more money. The other side of this, though, is that same guy could have expanded his bicycle business, and just at the same time when he expanded his bicycle business, a new company introduced a new technology that is going to make a better bicycle than. So having made this investment and done all of this, something else comes into the market, changes it, and now his bicycles are no longer that attractive. So that $1, those persons who invested for $1 could now be willing to get out of that company for even less than that dollar. So you persons who own the stock would have lost some money. So the one where there's potential for a price increase, there's also potential for a reduction in price, in value, and therefore, that is why there's risk in the stock market, and that is why I recommend talking to an expert before you make these kinds of decisions.
Because okay, so that is a recommendation, and so tell me the process of that now. Talking to an expert. Just walk anywhere and just walk into a bank and say.
Well, as I said, yeah. So okay, there is a website that is called Investopedia. I frequently refer my clients there. It breaks down complex financial topics into easily readable things. So that's one place that you can go. You can just go stock market, and it leads you from article to article, short articles that are easily understood. You can do that, but you can also make an appointment with an investment advisor. You call up a company, say, listen, I need to talk to somebody about investing in stocks. Can I make an appointment here? I think I said this before too, that there are many companies who have wealth advisors that you can go to, and they can help you to walk through and help you to make decisions. Even if you get a trading account that you are responsible for managing on your own, you can still call a wealth advisor at the place that you open it and ask for an opinion. I'm thinking of investing in this stock, what you think? Or ask for the literature. Pick a company, Carreras Group. I think I want to invest in Carreras Group of companies. Do you have any literature that I could read? You can Google literature. There are many companies, what they produce articles on companies, analyses where they tell you the potential profit, the weaknesses in the company, the strengths of the company, and things like that. And those are available free of cost.
What's the difference between stocks and bonds?
Okay, so we spoke about what stocks are. A piece of ownership in a company that, whether it's listed or not, it's ownership in a company. Bonds, however, are debt instruments that are usually put out by countries or large corporates. So in the Jamaican land space, there are bonds like Sagicor International. We have bonds from Trinidad. We have bonds from the government of Jamaica, bonds from the Dominican Republic. So basically what it is the government saying, listen, I need this money for this long-term purpose. I'm putting out a 30-year bond. You can lend it to me, and I will pay you back at 7%. You will get that money twice per year, and at the end of that period, I'll give you back your principal intact. Now, especially countries and large corporates, they do not give you security for your money. But what happens is you can get a rating from a rating agency. So you would have heard of like Fitch, for example. They would give a rating on the country, whether a bond issued by that country has a high rating. Is it investment grade? And that is what you rely on to decide, well, can I lend the money to this country or this large corporate? There's also a secondary market. So if you didn't get into that bond in the beginning, but there's a secondary market for these, just like there's a secondary market for stocks and shares. So if you didn't get into the bond when it was initially issued, you can still buy it from somebody who bought it there. But this now becomes it's a marketplace, and the value of the bond, the price of the bond can increase and it can decrease. And so there's volatility there as well. But where there's volatility, it means that there's a chance for you to earn significant income. So don't dismiss it because there's risk. And I said the same thing for bonds and the same thing for stocks. But look, get the knowledge. Speak with somebody who knows and see how you can potentially invest in these things. Now, I should say that in the case of stocks and bonds, there are what you call stock funds. These are funds that are invested in stocks and managed by experts, and there are bond funds. These are funds that are invested in bonds and they're managed by experts. And so, what you can do if you don't want to be making these day-to-day decisions, invest in one of those funds. Leave the decision making to the experts and reap benefits. Now, that does not mean that you'll always be making significant money, because even the most experienced expert can't always do better than the marketplace sometimes itself is doing. If you're in a down economy and you are in a fund that is governed by rules like, okay, you can't invest here, there, you cannot invest in these things, and those rules would have been made up for the safety of the fund. An investment, a fund manager is bound by these, and so what they are looking at is the long-term value. So if you are somebody who's looking to turn a quick profit or get some money, sometimes stocks are not the right thing. Sometimes it is, because a new company comes out and it is so anticipated that as soon as it hits the market, the price runs up, right? But that doesn't always happen. Yeah. So you do need to be thinking long term when you're thinking about stocks and bonds. But as I said before, the primary thing to do is to speak with an advisor or wealth advisor before you make these decisions, so you understand fully what it is that you're investing, what the risks are, and things. So when I'm advising clients, sometimes they ask, "You sure you want me to invest in this thing?" Yeah. But I want you to know the risks as well. Yeah. Not just the upside.
All right. So the person who comes, you're a wealth advisor yourself. You're a financial advisor.
Yes.
Walk us through. A teacher, a nurse, a doctor, a police officer come in front of you, an Irie FM worker, to say, well, I heard you on Irie FM and I want to invest, but I do not know where to start. What are you saying to that person? Walk us through that conversation. What do you want? What are you asking that person?
That person comes into me. The first thing is, I need to know who you are. So it will feel like a diagnostic session, because I'll want to know, the things that you've told me already. You are here, married, young child. This is where you are. This is your education background. This is what you're making now. We go through the budget. We spoke about the budget the last time. You need to be doing that personally. But as a wealth advisor, I need to know, are you making the best use of the money that you have right now? What are your financial habits? Because where is your emergency fund? Do you have an emergency fund? Because you have to make sure that is in place before you start investing. Because the last thing you want to do is start investing, you have an emergency, you have to pull it all up. So these are the things. Your financial advisor is an expert, just like your doctor. I think your financial advisor probably asks you more questions than your doctor does, especially these days. Because we feel that it is very important, and we know that there are some things. Not everything is for everybody. So if after the analysis we realize that you're razor thin, there's not much in the budget, we talk about how to improve that situation, how to build your emergency fund. Once you have the emergency fund in place, then we can start looking at things that can give you a greater return. But because of the volatility of these things, we don't want you to start investing in the thing, and then something happens. It might dip 1 or 2%. You get jittery. Something happens. You have to cash it out to take care of that emergency, and we're starting back from square one. So it's a process, but if you speak to an experienced wealth advisor, they will go through these steps with you. And the feeling of investing from a firm foundation, right? You're not guessing. You know what it is that you spend. You know what it is that you can save. You put it on a salary reduction, set it and forget it. When you get to that goal of whatever your emergency fund is, then okay, I need to make an appointment again, because now we're moving into that investment part of my journey. I want to do the down payment for my house. This is what I need, or I want to buy that motor vehicle, or my child, planning to have a child. We need to start looking at the education fund. I was just thinking about that education fund too. Right now, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. People at different in different professions can probably afford to do that, to put away something like that on a monthly basis, $2,000 a week. And if you have a child, and the child, you plan to send the child to university, and you start doing that when the child is born, put it in something like you start putting it in something like a stock market fund, and you do that consistently. By the time that child is ready for university, I'm not saying that you would have paid off the entire thing, but you could be sick. You wouldn't be worried about those initial expenses. You perhaps have to think about, of course, buying supplies and maybe paying rent, but tuition and most of the the high expenses, the higher, more predictable expenses could be taken care of because of how investments tend to grow over time. So that is something I usually try to get in. So if you have young kids and those, and I usually try to set up plans for those children, those kids. Set up things for your own retirement, making sure that if you don't have a retirement from your employer, that you start planning for that. Yeah, you have individual retirement plans that you can do. Even sometimes for persons who have a plan set up, and you look at the figures, what they expect to have when they retire. Sometimes you have to advise them to do a little supplementation in that. But as an investment advisor, that's where you start from. You start from the basics, know who it is that you're planning for. Not everything is for everybody. Not the same kind of plan. For a doctor might not be the same plan for a nurse, and vice versa. And that is not just about like income, because there are many nurses that I've made plans for, whose actual financial outcome is better than the doctor, whose salary is more than hers, just because of the financial discipline and the way that they handle their personal business.
As you talk about the tuition and the education fund and so on, and we, just to backtrack to what is bad debt and good debt, is student loan considered a good debt or a bad debt?
I would say student loan is good debt.
Or somewhere in the middle.
Yes. No. How should I say now? What should I say about this? So it's unsecured money that you can get. I think the rate is what is the rate now? 13%?
I'm not sure. I should know, but I'm not sure.
That's better than a lot of financial institutions unsecured loans. The purpose for which it is being used, and I think they pay directly to the school, so it is definitely going to the purpose for which it was intended. And if you make use of that, a lot of persons who would otherwise not have been able to attend tertiary institutions have been able to do it. Now, what might be making the picture not as rosy as it could be is the availability of jobs, so you can start repaying your student loan once you have achieved your education. That's a separate story. But the availability of the loan, so that you can actually get that education, definitely is life changing for so many Jamaicans.
It looks like it is below 13%, though. It looks like it's closer to.
It's below 13. Oh, I mean that's even better.
I'm not verifying, but
Yes, I understand. Yeah. That's the last figure I have in my memory, but yeah, you could be right that it is below that. But I think it's still my point still stands, right? That it's really not expensive money. If you look at the level of risk that the Student Loan Bureau is taking in terms of not being repaid, if a bank were pricing that, or a financial institution were pricing that the way that it should be priced, it would be more expensive than that.
So it says here, from a Student Loan Bureau, interest rates 7.8% during school and 9.5% during loan repayment. 7.8% during school, 9.5% during loan repayment. Yeah,
that's pretty good. I mean, and that is with no security. Yeah,
It
you know
says,
what I mean?
and the loan period is
That is lower than some mortgage rates
15
right now.
years. 15 years to repay. Goodness gracious me. To be saddled with a loan for 15 years?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they wouldn't. If you can pay more than that and pay it off early, I'm sure they wouldn't be averse to that. But look at that now. If you have an investment that is well, sorry, I'm getting into my back now. But yeah, if you have an investment that is paying you 9%, then it doesn't suit you to pay off that student loan in less than 15 years. But of course, if
Oh, you say it doesn't suit? Okay.
if it is a
All of
burden,
us
then
heard
you know,
you.
make arrangements and you can accelerate those payments.
Okay.
Make arrangements to accelerate the payments and pay it off.
And you know, stand guarantor now because I know like people may stand guarantor if I know like call me get over the years.
Oh my. Well, I can tell you that is something that I've resisted over the years because yeah, you the guarantor are easily found, you know. That student it can't end up anywhere in the world, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But I've heard now though that no laugh after we, Richard. But I've heard now though that you don't need a guarantor.
Yes, I've heard that too, and that's a good thing. It makes it easier to find because believe it or not, persons are getting more savvy. And a guarantor, especially for persons whose family, you know, because believe it or not, there are a lot of persons in Jamaica who are not sold on the value of being educated. You know, once you finish high school, and that is, if you finish high school, they don't think that there's any value in going any further, and worse, putting myself in possible debt for you to do that. So there are persons who in their immediate circles are unable to find persons to do that, but have the ambition, have the drive, and just not being able to find a guarantor, you know, it seems harsh.
That's true.
For somebody like that. I do understand the student loan bureaus need for some additional security because it's a scary thing just to put your money out there and
I wonder where
you know.
that security from.
Yeah.
Hold for me, Richard. Hold.
Critical illness has many faces. 1 in 4 people will be affected. Protect what matters with Sagicor Life Critical Illness Insurance. The time by Sagicor Life is
17 after 7.
Boy, I can't take this again, you know. Every minute me have to run from police. Boss, a long time that done for me. Me apply for the JUTC sub-franchise rule. Sub-franchise? What that mean? Simple. You get approved to operate legally through the JUTC, the Kingston area. No hiding, no running. Just work and earn proper. Why run when you can apply? Apply today for your JUTC sub-franchise license. Operate legally, drive proud. Call 876-469-5326 for more information. JUTC sub-franchise. Your road to legal earning.
The nation's #1 radio station, Irie FM, remains committed to community development across Jamaica. Join us this and every Monday at 6:30 p.m. right after sports for the community-based program Community. Community seeks to highlight the positives as well as struggles in our communities around the island. Join me, Roger Haspel, as I speak with stakeholders, and you can be a part of Irie FM's Community. Call us at 876-974-5051 or email roger@irefm.net and request your community to be featured.
Brought to you courtesy of Kings and Queens Awnings, promoting Truthful's brand new single, The Country I Run Down, available on all musical platforms.
That's Community. This and every Monday, right after sports, in live at 5:45 on the People Station, Irie FM.
Sumfest is in the air, and Irie FM can get you there anytime you hear the sound.
Sumfest with
You could be on your way to a taste of Reggae Sunfest at Plantation Cove Saturday, July 18th for free?
Yes man. Keep it booked and stuck to RFM around the clock to answer easy questions to win tickets to a taste of Reggae Sunfest
for free.
Sunfest with
Magnum, the champions of dancehall present a taste of Reggae Reggae Fest. We are talk about performance by Vibes Cartel, Mavado, Jamal, Asian, plus me, your Billboard selector. World Boom, Champion Vibes, Champion Prize, Bucket Deal, 6 Magnum for only 4 grand. Link your crew and follow at the Magnum Lounge. Plus look out for a special surprise from Magnum. July 18, Plantation Court. This a one year go loud. Magnum the champion of dancehall. Present a taste of Reggae Fest. You must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
It's the greatest show on earth, June 11 to July 19. The entire world will be focused on the USA, Canada, and Mexico. 104 matches, 48 teams, 3 host countries, 1 champion. Who will it be? Exhilarating, pulsating football. The Sporting Choice Irie FM has you fully covered with unbeatable features, stories, facts, and updates. Kickoff, scoreboard, keep up, and playbook. You nah miss nothing. We got it all.
Too far for Ronaldo to think about it.
Absolutely sensational!
The football spectacle is brought to you courtesy of Kendall. Just give me Kendall. Bad Dog, the bigger, better, badder sausage and bacon. Any bet, your best bet. Red Stripe, get in the game with Red Stripe and win. KFC, Pepsi Football Nation. Football, better with Pepsi. Digicel, turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. And the Caribbean Passion, smoked meats, easy eats. The greatest show on earth, June 11 to July 19. Right here on Irie FM.
Who that?
It's Irie FM.
All right, we're back with you inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African Online. My very special guest is Richard McKenzie, a financial advisor who has worked at various levels of the financial industry for over 25 years, and he's helping us through this. For many of us, so many of us in Jamaica are not au fait with financial, not at all, much less financial literacy, but we are spending every day. We're earning, we're spending, and many are saving too, but we're not doing it in any structured way. And this is what Richard is helping us to understand, how we can do this and to put ourselves, to shift the paradigm. Richard, how important, because we have just about 5 minutes, how important is it to have this paradigm shift for Jamaicans in the few minutes that we have left, to begin to think about a better way of doing and of being when it comes to finances and how we spend, what we earn, and what we do with what we earn?
Well, it's absolutely important, and I like the fact that you say paradigm shift, because it starts in the mind. It starts with the perception. If we traditionally have, we don't have a healthy view of institutions. We say the bank is either going to report our business to the government or going to steal our funds and so on. So when we think of formalizing the arrangements, our investments and our savings, we think of engaging with institutions who we have been we have not trusted over the years. But if you look at the gains that so many, if you go into the forums and is it fora, and see the kinds of advances, the kinds of monies that people have been able to make by engaging with these institutions, I would say it's absolutely important that we have a paradigm shift. We need to understand that keeping money short term, keeping it in a mattress, just keeping it in savings accounts alone is not going to get us where we want to get to. In fact, so if you have money in a saving account right now, it is actually losing value. I think the last time around we spoke about inflation and its effect on money, even over the short term. Sometimes 2 weeks ago you bought a bread for a particular price and you can't buy it for the same price the next time around. And that money in your saving account did not grow by the amount that the bread has gone up. So that alone tells you that by keeping your money in a saving account, you are not gaining. There is a certain amount of money, as we said, this emergency funds and so on, that needs to be kept at short term. And of course, the sacrifice you make for immediate availability is less earning. But we do need to change the way how we look at the benefits that we can get from financial institutions. And it starts there. If you're not convinced in your mind, you won't do it. So a shift in the way we perceive financial institutions and what they can do for us is absolutely necessary.
Thank you so much, Richard. I really appreciate your time every time, and we invite you back again. You see how it is now, though. It is what it is now.
Yeah, man, it's been my pleasure to be here. And I must say that I don't get a chance to say a lot of the things that I say right now, and so I get a chance to hear myself and examine my views and examine how I deliver certain things. So it's helping me too.
All right. Okay, we're very happy to hear that. So we have no shame. Thank you so much, Richard, my brother, and we look forward to talking to you again. I know that you're making a difference because we're getting the feedback I'm getting is off the chain. So
thank you very much. It's good to hear because that is my purpose,
Yeah.
to make a difference in this space. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Richard McKenzie there, financial advisor who's worked, as I said, at various levels of the financial industry for over 25 years, and he really does have a passion for sharing his knowledge and for teaching. We are inviting you to have a paradigm shift, if you don't have it yet, in terms of how you deal with your own finances. We were asking about the lights. The lights went off. Jamaica was in total darkness. June 5. The JPS got 30 days to respond. I'm not sure if the JPS has submitted that report, but we have seen no reporting on it. So I suppose we talk about that another time. The World Cup is still on. We're talking about that still. July 4, 5, and July 6, 2026, we saw Canada, Mexico, and the United States being knocked out of the World Cup in that exact order. July 4, 5, 6, Canada, Mexico, USA. Well, there you go. The host countries are all gone. A lot we're seeing, though, in this 2026 FIFA World Cup. They say politics mustn't have anything to do with sports, but it's all politics. Majority of it is politics. And the politics is terrible, too. Up to the last few matches we watched. Egypt, even the one last night. The first one. Who was the first one again? Not Argentina. So not the first one again. Anyway, all of them. It is just something. I think it's England, that one. Anyway, we saw for the Egypt, I know there's a lot of discussion that's taken place on Irie FM, with the Egypt-Argentina match. So we don't have to go into too much discussions on it. But I think that one, we're still reeling from the results, the outcomes. Outcome could have been so much different if the thing wasn't rigged. I think the World Cup is rigged. Anyway, we say that Russia hasn't been in the World Cup for how long now? Since 2022. And FIFA is interfering in everything else, but they say for some reason or the other, Russia cannot be. But interestingly enough, Iran was there. The rules-based international order is indeed rupturing, and I think FIFA is also on that list of that which is being ruptured. All right, we're looking, as I said earlier, that we're inside of World War II, and we're watching to see what is happening. Africa in the Sahel understands this. Africa in Southern Africa understands this. And, there's still West Africa, some parts of West Africa that's struggling to understand the time of day. Ghana being one of them. Nigeria being one of them also. We're looking at what's happening in South Africa. I think I'll have something to say about that later if I get some time. But we're in a time when it's a wake-up call for Africa and Africans, wherever we are, to unite. Because if you look around you, what we're seeing is phenomenal. The changes, the shifts, the maneuverings. And in this interregnum, I think we have a responsibility to ourselves to unite. It's up to us. NATO, of course, as I said earlier, is on its final days. And when you say NATO, you're talking about Europe also. Very interesting that we have seen the kind of last-ditch effort to survive or to get as much of it as possible, out of it as possible. That is NATO I'm talking about. All right, let me take a quick break. I'll be right back.
For 50 years, that has been the sound of many NHD contributors getting the keys to their own home.
I remember that day. It's a joyous feeling, a wonderful feeling. Mother have, father have, but blessed is the child who has his own. So you set your own rules.
Once you get your own, hey
is yours.
Freedom,
joy, and you also have a legacy for future generations.
The National Housing Trust, 50 years of building communities and housing generations.
From the creators of Money Fridays, we introduce to you another radio first. Grab back.
Stay locked into Irie FM on the 107 this and every Monday in the wake-up call for Grab Bag. And you could win up to $50,000 cash weekly, plus other prizes.
All you have to do is call Irie FM when you hear it's Grab Bag time. Tell the announcer which bag to dip into, and what comes up is yours, just like that.
It could be a gift from a sponsor. It could be $10,000. It could be $30,000. It could be a whopping $50,000. Or it could be, sorry, try again.
But if you don't have a representing hand in the bag, you don't have a chance.
Grab Bag is brought to you courtesy of
Tiles R Us Limited, Banners Valley, St. Elizabeth. Tiles R Us.
Sunday, July 12th, the vibes are heading to Little Ochi Alligator Pond for the biggest seafood event of the summer, Little Ochi Seafood Carnival. Enjoy explosive live performances from Busy Signal, Chanel Muir, and Queen Ifrica. Music from Bass Odyssey, Star Level, and DJ Lollipop. Admission pre-sale $2,500. All you can eat $13,000. Great food, great music, and unforgettable vibes. Little Ochi Seafood Carnival.
Saint Anne, exciting news is coming your way. Biomedical is growing and you are invited to celebrate the grand opening of its newest location on Tuesday, July 14th at the Draxall Commercial Complex. Come enjoy convenient access to trusted diagnostic testing, professional lab services, wellness screenings, and quality patient care. And that's not all. Irie FM will be on location from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. So come out and celebrate with us or tune into the 107s and catch all the action as it happens. That's a live broadcast from the grand opening of Biomedical Draxall Collection Center, Tuesday, July 14th on Irie FM.
We still don't know why the power went out.
Well, we still don't know why the power went out, and I don't know if you're okay with it. I don't know if you're comfortable with it. I don't know if you really do not want to hear anything about what caused Jamaica to suffer that 8 hours of total blackout on June 5, power restored June 6. And I don't know if you really don't need to know whether or not JPS has submitted that report to the OUR and to the minister that should have been submitted last week Monday. Peter, check back the date for me, because June 6. So from June 6 to when is the third? Is last week Monday. Last week Monday. So I don't know if it was submitted last week Monday, the 30 days, or did you hear anything, Peter? Because I don't know if they asked for extra time or if they submitted and they're going through it and nobody don't know, or it's silent. It's quietly not being done. Very interesting times ahead. The media, my colleagues in the media, journalists who are in the news media, does it matter? Do you want to find out first on behalf of those of us who are just on once a week, in talk shows? All right. Let me go back to the phone lines because our next very special guests are, I think, standing by. The Native Quao Festival the planning is well underway, and we're going to be speaking with, and I can see one of my sisters already, Jonah Williams, who is the acting colonel of the Scotts Hall Maroon community, and an entrepreneur and a passionate advocate for Maroon heritage and community development. She's the daughter of the late Indy Williams, a respected Maroon Queen dancer and a herbal healer, whose legacy continues to inspire her commitment to preserving and promoting the rich cultural traditions of the Maroon people. She's also the owner of Willoughby, did I get that right? Wholesale and Willoughby Household and Decor, where she combines entrepreneurship with a dedication to serving her community. Through her leadership, cultural advocacy, and business ventures, Joan Williams remains committed to preserving Maroon heritage while advancing unity, economic empowerment, and sustainable community development for future generations. And my sister Jacqueline Phillips also online. Jacqueline Phillips, I met her on our way to Sierra Leone. So we were in Sierra Leone on the very same trek. She was born and raised in St. Mary, where she developed a strong sense of community. And she is a philanthropist, a community leader, and a justice of the peace. She serves as president of the Scotts Hall Past Students Association and secretary of the Scotts Hall Maroon Indigenous Cultural Group. We'll tell you more about her as time goes on. Joan and Jackie, my sisters, thank you so much for coming on. The big day is almost upon us because we are already in mid-July. Let me start with you, Joan. Is it Joan or Joni? Joan? All right. So I think she's not hearing me. Are you hearing me, Jackie?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, brilliant. So I think Joan, is it Joan or Joni?
Joan, Jone, yeah, Joan.
I
It's
think
pronounced Joan.
Yeah, I think she's not hearing me. All right. So are you hearing me, Joan?
Just before we start, we have Captain Mattox with the habeng, and so you would want to blow the habeng just before you start the interview.
All right, go ahead.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Who blew the habeng? Because I didn't see who it was.
Captain Mattox.
Captain Mattox. Thank you so much, Captain Mattox. Right. It seems as if I don't think Joan, are you hearing us? Joan?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Good morning to you. Madasi Kabu. Good morning.
Madasi Akwaba, my sister. Welcome. Let me start with you as the acting colonel. Scotts Hall. Tell us a little bit about the history of Scotts Hall. Where is Scotts Hall and Scotts Hall as a Maroon community?
Okay. Scotts Hall is located in St. Mary. It's almost on the border of St. Andrew and St. Mary. It's close to the Wagwater, Castleton area. And we are in the hoods of heading to Richmond when you head off the Junction Road. It's within that community space. Scotts Hall is a very rich and vibrant community. We are really small in numbers, but we are very, very rich in our culture, vibrant. We're little, but we are taller in our community here.
It's interesting because we always in this space when we're talking about Maroon communities remind people that Scotts Hall, because Scotts Hall for so long was not necessarily in the news, but Scotts Hall was always there as a Maroon community for grounding Quao. Talk to me about that connection, that Quao connection to Scotts Hall, and why Quao?
Okay, Quao connection to Scotts Hall, it was all about the fight of the Maroons, and where they settled. And Scotts Hall was a part of that division where Quao had settled. So we use Kwahu as a part of our native festival to remind us of the struggles that, our ancestors went through for us to be celebrating and endorsing the rich culture that Scotsall has today.
All right, I'm going to ask Sister Jackie, and both of you, I know we'll talk about this, but the plans are really well underway. But before we go to that, quickly, Sister Jackie, you were in Sierra Leone. You met up with the Maroon communities there, the Jamaicans who had gone through Canada and then into Sierra Leone. What was that like for you as an experience?
Yeah, that experience was a great experience. In that, I recognize that people, the atrocities that has been bestowed on our people, and it was really touching to be a part of that and to see what is happening in Sierra Leone. It was.
Yeah,
I like to say it was really a good experience.
Yeah, we were on a lot of those treks together. We're not seeing you fully, Sister Jackie. We're only seeing half of you. All right, that's better. All right, so plans are in high gear, Sister Jackie, for July 31 into August 1.
Right. Yes.
What's going to be happening on July 31?
Okay, on July 31st, we'll be having the children treat. For the day, we will also be having a domino tournament in the day as well. We will be having persons from ACIJ coming in to interact with our children, and then we have another person in the name of Marley. She's from the US. She wants to come and do some yoga with the children, as well as we'll just treat the children for the day. Now in the evening, about 7 o'clock, we'll be having the bonfire. We'll be lighting the fire at about 8 o'clock, thereabout. And we'll have some kumina drumming, as well as, just normal entertainment for the night up until 12 o'clock.
Until midnight.
Right.
And that's taking us, Sister Joan, right into Emancipation Day.
Right.
Sure, Kabu, sure. And over the years, we as Maroons look forward to Emancipation Day, to celebrate our culture, our heritage, because when you look at it, sometimes we feel like we're not thriving as a community, but we have to remind ourselves that, we have to uplift this for our future generation to come. So Emancipation Day in Scotsall is really, really a big day for us in this community and for other Maroon communities to be coming into our space. The Jamaica and the Diaspora coming in for that festival is really, really awesome, and for everyone to look forward to, Kabu.
All right. So what's going to tell us about that day? What that day is going to look like? Who will be there?
Okay. There's a lineup. Our secretary give you more on that.
We're actually showing it on the screen for those who are watching on YouTube, IG, and Facebook. We're showing that lineup. But go ahead, Sister Jackie. Tell us what's going to happen on the 1st, on August 1.
Okay, so for the 1st of August, which is Emancipation Day and celebration at Scotsall here, we start our day at about 6 o'clock, where we'll do the ritual, and then we move up to and we'll do that at the Asafu Yard, that we presently doing some. We're trying to get it up and running as the Asafu Yard, and then we move up to the Scotsall Primary School, where we will have the civic ceremony in starting at 1, and that ceremony will take in the other Maroon communities: Charlestown, Moortown, Flagstaff, Accompong, the Tainos, and guests that we have invited. This year, we will be having Kabu as our guest keynote speaker, and she will be speaking to us at that's Kaboo.
I know. I tell
So
Peter says me
this
you're
week it's
talking.
called
Yeah.
here at
Go ahead,
Scotsman.
Sister
And I think
Jackie.
it will be your first time here, right?
Yes, it's interesting because so many of my people are from that region of St. Mary, but I've never actually been into Scots Hall, so I'm looking forward to being there. And we've worked so closely with Scots Hall over the years. You know, I remember that the Abeng, when our founder Carl Young transcended and we had the funeral for him in Otorius, the Abeng blower was the then colonel. What was the colonel's name again? Remind me. Oh goodness.
Was it Pink?
No, before Pink.
Pray.
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 Colonel Pray.
Right.
And he was a recurring, constant guest inside the studios of Irie FM and at everything we do here at Irie FM with the community. So we have a really, really close relationship with the people of Scots Hall, that is Irie FM I'm talking about in particular in this program. So we're looking forward to being there on August 1. All right, tell us who else will be there, because there's an entire program for the day, what that day will look like.
All right, for the day, we'll be having like different stalls. Persons can come and set their stalls. It would be more of a festivity in that you can buy it. And we will
celebration, literally. All right, hold for me. Grab your document and let me take a quick break.
Safe, reliable, great value. Always buy from an authorized IGL dealer. The time by IGL is
now 7:46. Sister Jackie, remind us again how we get to Scots Hall. If you're coming from Kingston, where you drive?
Okay, we're coming from Kingston. You come Stony Hill. It's through the junction, right? Scots, you would find it. We come Stony Hill. Once you hit Castleton Garden,
right?
Castleton Garden as a landmark or the police station. Once you pass Castleton Police Station, then it will be the first big bridge. Yes, and the bridge is Grandiole Bridge, and there are signs there. There are a lot of maroon signs there.
So you take the left turn before entering on the bridge, Kaboo.
Bridge, right?
Okay, that's coming from Kingston. If you're coming from Ochi, where are you turning?
You use a landmark of Friendship Gap, where is the soup area, Oriental fried chicken, and there's a lot of soup stalls there. That's a food area, right? Busy little the area. That's Friendship Gap. Once you pass Friendship Gap, you will enter Grandiole Bridge, but this time you go across the bridge and you make a right.
Take the right.
Okay. All right. Well, we're looking forward to it now. So it's an all days, 2 days from July 31 all the way into August morning. Scots Hall in St. Mary, the Quao. And one of the things I like about this.
For Quao now, it's that will be in the night. And Sizzla Kalanji is last year. Sizzla is the crown prince of cultural ambassador.
Yes.
And last year we had a ceremony for him at our 1st of August celebration up by the school. So he's integrally in part of Scots Hall.
Yes.
Is and as I'm seeing it here that you are showing, that was last year when we have our celebration. So the Quao Native Festival is Sizzla's idea of having a celebration after
the civic service.
After the civic ceremony in the night, where we have artists coming in and performing for us. And it's free. It's free. Persons we can come into the show in the night for free. So we have several like a lineup
here. Will be there, eh? Yeah. So Dada, we'll see you when we come through. Crown Prince Sizzla Kalanji, the Quao Native Festival. I really love the idea of foregrounding Quao, recalling and remembering Quao in the way that the Scots Hall Maroons are doing. All right, anything else we need to know? Sister Joan?
Kabu, on the note that, inviting persons to be in our space on the 1st of August, it's really, really a celebration for everyone to look forward to, I think when you come into Scottsall, you can feel the vibrant vibes of the spiritual part of our culture. We don't water down our culture at any point in time, Kabu. So that part of it's really naked in our blood in St. Mary, in Scottsall. So it's a place for us, for persons to be on the 1st of August, just to come together and in one vibes, one culture, one heritage, and embrace it for a future generation, because if we don't put it together, Kabu, and tightly knitted it, it would just slide on the rocks and, our generation wouldn't even know much about us.
And personally, I'm inviting, the family to let's head to Scotts Hall on August 1, as you heard Sister Jackie and Sister Joan just said. I will be the guest speaker. I will be there from early. I'm looking forward to it. The event itself is a 2-day event. The civic ceremony will be on the 1st of August 1. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you both so much. It's both days are free. Just be there to celebrate and to just enjoy the culture and immerse ourselves in the culture on August 1 in Scottsall. Or the word them stay. Or the word them stay, Sister John. Or the word
Sorry?
Or the word to Scottsall. The word good or bad?
Yeah, okay. Manageable, Kabu, manageable. Manageable. It's not that bad. It's manageable.
Yeah. Into Scottsdale, it's not bad at all.
All right, just checking.
The junction, I think the junction would be a little worse than us in Scottsdale, but I see them doing some patching right now.
And you can
so Captain is going to blow the abeng again,
all
just
right,
to take
so
us out.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Yanking Pong bless you, Kabu, for hosting us, the Scottsall Maroon, on your program this morning. See you on 1st of August.
Yes, my darling. I'll
Blessing
see you,
my sister.
sisters. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you on August 1. All right,
All right.
Sister Jackie and Sister Joan there from the Scots and Captain Maddox from the Scotts Hall Maroons. Peter, you coming? August 1. Okay, Peter say I come. So see there. Me probably not have to drive. We can drive with Peter. May I look at drive, Peter? We're good? Oh, there you go. All right. You're inside of the Africa Forum. It is Running African. I think you have, Peter, something. I want to quickly talk about something, which is, it has to do, we've been talking about ports in this space, right? And I don't know if you saw the story, but there was a story that came out, I think it was after we wrapped up on Sunday, it might have come out on Monday, looking at Jamaica's port security. I found it very interesting because we have been talking about ports in this space for the last, our discussion with our sister from Italy was a few months ago. And, from time to time we talk about maritime security. Well, we talk about maritime security every single Sunday morning. But we have seen where and I think also within the context of Carrie Lake, because Carrie Lake was a U.S. ambassador, likely U.S. ambassador that's going to come into Jamaica. She was the one who talked about how concerned the U.S. was about port security. And some of the things she was looking at coming in, one of those things was port security. One, of course, was transnational organized crime. Another one was immigration, which took us right back to third country deportees, or third country, if you will, nationals. But one of the things she said, she pointed specifically to China, and she talked about coming into Jamaica to, in my own words, this is just paraphrasing what she was saying, to clip China's wings, especially as it is related to the ports. Now, the government of Jamaica, on the backside of that, has announced that it has hired a US-based engineering and infrastructure company, AECOM, AECOM, to conduct a comprehensive security assessment of Jamaica's ports. This is not a fluke. And the assessment, the government said, is intended to evaluate vulnerabilities and strengthen security across Jamaica's maritime infrastructure, particularly at facilities involved in international trade. Now, we must not overlook this information because remember that there is... did I send you Jamaica's Port Security Assessment? Jamaica's Port Security Assessment. It's interesting because if we look at that, let me see if I can shoot it to you quickly, Peter. Because if you look at that, what we're looking at is really where Jamaica stands now regarding their relationship with the United States. And it's something that we want to talk about in a minute too, right? But it's where Jamaica stands now regarding its relationship with the United States is very interesting because Jamaica has taken a position, has made a choice, and is seriously angering, it's my word, angering China, because China has also responded. And we've been following China for a very long time in this space, and we know that China no respond to any and everything. I don't know why I can't seem to get this. But anyway, we know that China no respond to any and everything. But now we have Jamaica now coming out on the side, if you will, of America. And Jamaica's always been on the side of the United States. We can go through that another time. Let me go through the port security assessment that Jamaica is talking about because I'm having like a difficulty sending that to you, Peter. So let me just find it. All right, here we go. All right, so it says the government of Jamaica has hired this US-based company. The assessment is intended to evaluate vulnerabilities and strengthen security across Jamaica's maritime infrastructure, particularly at facilities involved in international trade. And they're saying the review comes amid heightened concern about transnational threats affecting ports, including drug trafficking, firearms smuggling, organized crime, human trafficking, and other cross-border security risks. What I find interesting is that human trafficking is on this, but remember that the third country nationals and the third country deportee MOU that the government has signed with the United States is human trafficking. So I don't know how that falls into that. And they say the government of Jamaica says Jamaica's ports are regarded as a strategic infrastructure because they handle large volumes of cargo and transshipment traffic, linking the Caribbean with North America, Latin America, and Europe and Asia. Yes, we've been talking about that. We are quite clear on how that works. And the fact that we find that the ports have come back in the conversation, in the way that they've come back in the conversation, where Jamaica is now has gone out now and is hiring a consultancy to what? Audit? Audit is not even the word because I think they're afraid of that word audit. I think basically to assess the security. But as I said, remember that China responded and China came out. Okay, thanks. Okay, that's a Carrie Lake and I sent you the port thing. All right, so here we go. Let me find China's response. So China rejected the U.S. ambassador designate's concerns and argued that its 53-year relationship with Jamaica is based on mutual respect, equality, and mutual benefit, rather than geopolitical competition. China emphasized that its investments are intended to support Jamaica's own development priorities. Why is this important? China don't normally respond. China not just get up and respond like this. So this is important enough, China responding to Kari Lake. China highlighted its economic footprint in defending its position. It pointed to more than $2.1 billion in investments in Jamaica. It talked about the major infrastructure projects. It talked about cooperation in transportation, energy, housing, education, healthcare, and other sectors. And it talks about that it is more into long-term development, as a long-term development partner in Jamaica, more than merely a strategic competitor. Remember, you know what I find interesting is that in, I don't know, it might have been 2005 or thereabouts, that we asked if China was a strategic partner, a competitor, or a new colonizer. These were the three things that, and we carried that conversation for almost 5 years. Is China a strategic partner, a competitor, or a new colonizer? We never really answered that question. But if we looked at what's happening at Roaring River, then we have one answer. If we look at what's happening at the ports, then we have another answer. If we look at what's happening with the roads and so on, then that's a whole other answer. Because when we were asking these questions, none of this had happened. All the things we're pointing to didn't happen. So is China a strategic partner, a competitor, or a new colonizer? That is still on the table. We already know who the Europeans are, and we already know what America is in terms of its imperialist policies. The Monroe Doctrine and the Shield of the Americas and so on. Hopefully we'll talk a little bit. Let me take a quick break.
You get chopped? Not take that. Make Mocha FID and the police help you. Call 311 or 1-888-662-2847. The time by the FID, Mocha, and the JCF is...
Now, a minute after 8 o'clock. And I want to do something quickly because we do have other guests who are going to come up inside of the program. But I want to do something quickly here, right? And you can mull over this conversation in your head. We've been having this conversation for a good while now about whether or not China is a strategic partner, competitor, or a new colonizer. So we don't have to spend much time going through that. But let me ask you this. Have you been listening and paying attention? I think it was a few days ago, not Thursday gone, but the Thursday before, that I sat in for Motor Baruka. And at that time, we heard the breaking news happened in the morning that Jamaica was going to be going to the United Kingdom on its knees to have a conversation with King Charles. And I want to talk about that for a minute because in a broader context, because my good friend Bert Samuels was online. We talked about that. It's harder that me and Bert disagree on anything. And I don't know that the extent to which we disagree. I think it's a big mistake that Jamaica is making, going to ask King Charles to refer reparations questions to the Privy Council. So they're going to talk to King Charles, and they're, according to Minister Grange, Jamaica is advancing its reparations campaign by formally petitioning King Charles III to refer key legal questions on slavery reparations to the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council. This petition is scheduled to be presented on September 6, 2026, and this is interesting. My thoughts on this, I have kind of trashed out when I sat in for Motor on Wednesday, but just to say, one of the biggest mistakes, and if you listen to Minister Grange's announcement in Parliament, it is even worse because it is really a groveling. It is seeing Charles as the padre, if you will. It's this patronage that we are expecting. But an interesting thing happened because a member of Parliament in the United Kingdom, that's Bell Ribeiro Addy, tweeted the following, and I think you have that tweet, Peter, said later this year, Jamaica will take the case for reparations directly to King Charles, lodging a formal petition. It is getting harder and harder for British institutions to maintain their favored tactic of simply ignoring calls for repair. And that was the Suella Braverman responded to that. I've said a lot about Suella Braverman in this space, right? She said the British Empire did so much good. By the way, Suella Braverman is a former Home Secretary, of the UK. And I've had many, many conversations about her in this space, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. But she responded to the MP by saying, the British Empire did so much good for the world. Of course, slavery was abhorrent, but to expect the British people of the 21st century to pay for actions that took place in the 18th century has no basis in law. If the government is seriously thinking about this, then former colonies should pay the British back for the considerable investment effort and contribution that this country, meaning Britain, made, which laid the foundations of many flourishing democracies today. So the government is an Indian, And this is what she said, that former British colonies must pay reparations to Britain. So you're talking about the Caribbean, you're talking about continental Africa, you're talking about wherever you were with your imperialist colonizers, colonizing selves. Suella Braverman, who is Indian, remember, anyway, so this is basically what she said. But Mayor Motley, and I think you have a clip from Mayor Motley. Let us hear the question, because at the I think it's the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting at a press conference, Mayor Motley was asked about this. And no matter how angry we get and no matter how articulate we are, we couldn't answer like Mayor Motley. So I want you to listen to Mayor Motley's response about the question and the response when you're ready. Or should I put up the buzz? Okay, so let me know when you're ready, Peter. So basically...
this question is directed to Prime Minister Motley as chair of the Prime Ministerial Subcommittee on Reparations. So there has been significant pushback from UK parliamentarians on the issue of reparations, with threats from parties to impose visa bans on countries asking for reparations. And recently, one prominent UK politician saying that it is in fact the Caribbean who should be paying the empire for its effort and contributions. How is this resistance affecting the movement, and what is the strategy to address it, especially going into the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. I'm not sure that you want me to reply to things that really are asinine. And certainly the notion that we should pay the United Kingdom for oppressing us, for enslaving us, and for treating us as chattel. And that is the difference. Slavery existed before, but this was the first time that human beings were defined as chattel. And I've been very clear all along that the 1661 Slave Code of Barbados, which predated the Code Noir, which the French have just repealed less than 2 months ago, all distinguished themselves, and all of the slave laws that followed the 1661 Slave Code of Barbados, by the treatment of human beings as chattel. We're not asking for charity. We're asking to be able to ensure that justice can be done. In 1834, the British Parliament did not need to be persuaded of that fact with respect to the loss of property because we were chattel, and the compensation of the slave owners of £20 million. I would like to advise that those who have not yet read sufficient to understand the history do so before making comments that really do not reflect well on them. With respect to the movement, this is a global movement now. We just came from Accra in Ghana, and as you know, the United Nations passed a resolution that Ghana brought in March of this year. We have seen Pope Leo make comments in this year of our Lord. We have seen President Macron recognize that the conversation for reparations, just as His Majesty King Charles, when he was Prince Charles at the opening of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Rwanda, stated clearly that reparations was a conversation whose time had come. I have no doubt that there are British parliamentarians who want to distract people from the domestic politics of the United Kingdom at this point in time. But the Caribbean should not be used as a prop in those circumstances. Thank you.
All right, as I said before, we couldn't answer it like Mia Motley. I think she did an excellent job in responding to that, as always. You think so, though, even while we are very...
I've always noticed it, but I've never thought to myself...
For me.
It seems so obvious now, but I've never thought to myself, oh, yeah.
And if you put up back on screen the breakdown of what the Jamaican government is about to do, to go to England to beg King Charles III, to go to to ask questions of the Privy, to refer questions to the Privy Council. The petition that the government of Jamaica, through the National Council on Reparations, intend to take to England in the name of the people of Jamaica and the grassroots people who fight and have been fighting in the trenches and here in the grassroots for reparations long before any council or commission on reparations. We reject that. We have done a lot of work along the way, and part of that work includes that time that Lord Anthony Gifford went to the House of Lords and made a similar request, and it was thrown out. We weren't necessarily part of this, but we know that Professor Hilary Beckles also gave a speech in Parliament, I think it was, on the very same thing. Then we have Suella Braverman. Suella Braverman now belongs to the Reform Party, Reform UK. And you know what that is. That is a racist party. She was, before that, from the Conservative. We reject this. We think that this groveling is beneath us. And we have a template. Barbados, first of all, got rid of the monarchy as head of state. And then, although the process has been ongoing, but in the last few days, Barbados has put out a figure that is due to Barbados in terms of reparations from Britain. And I know that the CARICOM Reparations Commission is also getting ready to make its way to Britain and so on. I'm not sure what the CARICOM Reparations Commission is going to do in Britain. I do not know, and I'm not going to make a comment on that right now. But from what we're hearing about the Jamaican government, the petition that is being presented to King Charles in his capacity as Jamaica's head of state, this is what they say now. It is going to be presented to King Charles in his capacity as Jamaica's head of state. I thought we were getting rid of King Charles as Jamaica's head of state. This is putting the cart before the horse. This is a slap in our faces. This is Jamaica finding a way, the government of Jamaica finding a way to delay and to deny constitutional reform at any level. At any level. Because we hear a lot coming out of the tourism ministry. And whatever is coming out of a tourism ministry seems to me at some point is going to impact the Constitution, right? In terms of all the plans and the changes and so on that has been announced by the minister. Whether or not it affects the Constitution, there are things that have been repealed and replaced and are ready to be repealed and replaced. Now here we are, going to King Charles as Jamaica's head of state. This is a slap in the faces of every single Jamaican, and I want to know who is going to pay that fare and who is going to be responsible for the funding of that distinguished team that's going to be heading to Britain to beg King Charles to speak to the Privy Council. As I said to my brother, Bert Samuels, and this is not Bert's idea, I'm just saying, but as I said to him the other night, because he's going to be on the delegation and he's going to be on my program, Charlie, but not about that. But Bert is my very good friend. Everybody know that he's my brother. He's my friend. I love him. Now, but I said to him, it is a mistake that is being made and a mistake that has to be corrected before the government of Jamaica, who he doesn't speak for, continue to make this mistake. But he is a vice chair of the National Council on Reparations. Hang on there, let me take a break.
At Quest Security Services, security isn't about volume, it's about precision. From CCTV surveillance, access control, fire detection, video control, patrol monitoring, body cameras and vehicle tracking, to bug detection and background screening, we deliver protection with intelligence, protecting properties, people and reputations with professionalism, accountability and advanced technology. Call Quest Security Services today at 876-548-4800. Quest Security Services, Total Protection Group.
Jamaica, need top quality electrical wire? Eco Caribbean Wire is your answer. Imported from Turkey, we deliver premium wire at unbeatable prices. Residential wire from 1.5 to 35 mm. Heavy duty power cables from 50 to 240 mm. We've got it all. Visit Eco Caribbean Wire at 62 Hope Road, Kingston 6. 876-853-5971 or 876-618-0069. We deliver island-wide. Eco Caribbean Wire, connecting the future.
The nation's #1 radio station, Irie FM, remains committed to community development across Jamaica. Join us this and every Monday at 6:30 p.m. right after sports for the community-based program Community. Community seeks to highlight the positives as well as struggles in our communities around the island. Join me, Roger Haspel, as I speak with stakeholders, and you can be a part of Irie FM's Community. Call us at 876-974-5051 or email roger@irefm.net and request your community to be featured.
Brought to you courtesy of Kings and Queens Awnings, promoting Truthful's brand new single, The Country I Run Down, available on all musical platforms.
That's Community, this and every Monday, right after sports, in live at 5:45 on the People Station, Irie FM.
Do you have the voice, the flow, or the swag of Vibes Cartel or Movado? Now is your chance to prove it. Record a 30-second video performing your favorite Vibes Cartel or Movado song. Bring the energy, the lyrics, the style, and the stage presence. Here is how to enter. Record your 30-second performance. Post it on Instagram. Tag Irie FM Official in your post. Use the hashtag Irie Sumfest Challenge. The most creative, entertaining, and authentic performance will win an exclusive backstage pass to Reggae Sumfest 2026, giving you the opportunity to experience Jamaica's biggest reggae festival like never before. Whether you're Team Gully, them start a war with them or Team Gaza, it's time to show us what you've got. Entries open now. Don't miss your chance to perform, impress, and win with Irie FM, Jamaica's reggae radio station.
Never know your trick, people. Yeah, I'm about your jerk chicken.
All right, we're back with you inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African. And we're looking a bit, at one of these. It must be a fluke. It feels like a nightmare that Jamaica has decided that instead of a continuing constitutional reform and getting rid of the monarchy as head of state, Jamaica has decided now that they're going to go to England to meet with King Charles in his capacity as head of state. And this, I think, is smoke and mirrors, and it is meant to obfuscate and confuse, because what we should be talking about on this island is constitutional reform. But we have thrown that out, and now we have, what is this? Some little black children little black men and boys and girls. And I'm so sorry, Bert, because you're in that, but it is what it is. Because what are we if we are, what about we who free ourselves? We who are putting ourselves in charge of ourselves? At what point do we say that constitutional reform is the next way to go? And we must follow Barbados. Listen to Mayor Motley a while ago. Mayor Motley is still talking about reparations. Barbados is part of the CARICOM Reparations Commission, and she's strident. Also, Barbados has come up with a figure and has already said to England, this is what you owe. No, Jamaica has thrown constitutional reform out of the window, and what Jamaica is doing now. I want to know why this constitutional route has been chosen, and what is the legal significance of this? And I asked Bert this the other night. What couldn't you have taken? And this is not Bert's thing, you know. Remember, me tell you, this is a government of Jamaica, led by Minister Babsy Grange, and the idea of Frank Phipps. But why not take this to the international court, or any international court for that matter? The petition is reportedly, and we heard from the minister, is asking that legal questions be referred, and you see it on the screen there, to the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council. So we want to know what specific legal precedent could a referral establish, and how this could reshape Britain's obligations towards Jamaica and other former colonies. It don't matter how we carry it. It doesn't matter. We need constitutional reform first. Even if we have a referendum, we have the referendum, we need to get rid of Britain, the British monarchy, the enslavers, the imperialists, the colonizers as head of state of Jamaica. And we must not, under any circumstances, allow the government of Jamaica in our name, through the National Council on Reparations, to go to England begging King Charles to take some questions to the Privy Council in our name. We reject that. We reject that in every which way. I don't know how this goes, and I want to know who is going to pay for it. Who is going to pay for that massive delegation that is going to go to England to go bow down in front of King Charles? The Prime Minister of Jamaica is a member of the Privy Council. Give him the paper, making care go get to King Charles. He's an advisor to King Charles. And maybe that's one of the reasons why we will not have constitutional reform. Because the Prime Minister, remember, not to be a member of the Privy Council, nobody not ask you, is you beg to go on there. That is the protocol. You ask to be put on there. It means that the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, through whatever means, requested to be a member of Charles Chambers' pot, the Privy Council. Do you understand the point I'm making? And we are here, 64 years of independence, on the eve of emancipation and independence, in the name of Chief Tachi, in the name of Sam Sharp, in the name of Queen Nanny, in the name of Paul Bogle. We are going to England to beg King Charles to cast some questions to the Privy Council. Don't tell me that I do not understand it. You know, I understand exactly what I do. I also understand why you're doing it. Because Jamaica has no intention of having any form of constitutional reform under the current government. None at all. And I don't think under any government. This is madness. Anyway, we know that Britain has consistently argued that slavery was legal under the laws of its time. We know that. So why you ask Charles to go ask the Privy Council that? Right now, Nigel Farage and the Reform Party, have you heard what they said? People who are asking for reparations, take with them visa. Don't give them the visa. I don't know where they're going. This is they intend to go challenge this under English common law. I don't know where they're going. This is similar to what happened in Kumasi in 1804. after 1807. There was a delegation that left Kumasi after 1807. They were wrong. And this delegation is the first of its kind we're seeing since then. And this delegation is wrong. And I do not want us to have no whole conversation about the delegation that left Kumasi a little bit after 1807. I'm not going to have that conversation. I am just saying that the delegation that left Kumasi is the very same thinking. What kind of thinking is this? What kind of bowing down to Charles is this? Britain compensated slave owners of enslaved Africans. After emancipation, it's just the other day we finished paying them off our taxpayer money. My grandfather, who is from the Windrush so-called situation. One whole half of my family in England from them time till this time. Just the other day, them don't pay it off. So if they can compensate the enslavers, why are you going to Britain to ask King Charles to take some questions to the Privy Council? It is wrong, Minister Grange. It is wrong. Frank Phipps, you are wrong, QC. You are wrong. I think sometimes we have to have a paradigm shift. We have to get out of the thinking of the QC. And this is why the fact that they have hijacked the reparations movement. By the way, the reparations movement has always been a grassroots movement, And they have hijacked it, and the people who are at the grassroots now find themselves in, everywhere we turn, they are gatekeepers who are telling us how we must view reparations and what we must think about reparations. This is basically the situation that we find ourselves in. So the grassroots reparations movement has been killed by governments across the Caribbean. And now we have Ghana come on board. That is also a hijack. Listen, I do not have no time for foolishness. The reparations movement has been hijacked left, right, and center. And I think that too many of the players on the reparations, within the wider reparations movement, do not even understand the passion, the righteous indignation, much less figure understand the grassrootedness of it all. That is a whole other level they're on. I don't know what they're thinking in, but I think that in some cases, part of their thinking is to stymie and to sabotage the reparations movement and the call for constitutional reform across the Caribbean, and to get rid of the monarchy of England as a head of state of countries like Jamaica, Minister Grange and your team that are about to head to England in September. Call back yourselves. Call back yourselves. If King Charles declined to refer the questions, I know so we don't have our own plan because we're not going to find a way for it, because we know the argument them, we hear the argument them. I had a conversation with Bert. Take it to the international court. Take it to the international court. Or give Prime Minister Andrew Holness the folder and tell him, so when him go up there to advise Charles or any Commonwealth meeting, hand it to him. You don't need a whole delegation. How many people are not that delegation? Who appear the fears and the hotels and everything else that is going to take. You think England cheap? I can tell you one of the most expensive countries in the world right now is England, much less London. That's one thing. And bet your taxpayer money are going to pay that. And remember that all now people still asleep out the door after Hurricane Melissa. On a call back on yourself, because this is ridiculous. I'm out of time. But I don't even think these questions should go to Charles any at all. So it's tongue-in-cheek when I say give it to Andrew Holness. But I don't think, if you want to deal with this, take it to the international court and stop the foolishness and let us talk about constitutional reform. Minister Grange, let us talk about constitutional reform. What is being planned is foolish. It's stupidness. We have done this before in our history. And I tell you, it was a big mistake. Go and study history. When we do not know our history, we are bound to repeat the mistakes. If you go too far with this, England is going to tell you what happened when it happened before. They are going to start publishing it in the Daily Mail and the Telegraph to shame you all, to say this exact same thing happened before, and this is what it was, and you're coming about reparations. If you do not know your history, you're bound to repeat it. Anyway, I don't even know where I reach with this whole thing. I've gone off script. But we're a minute away from the Supreme Ventures draw. Listen up. Top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cashpot early bird draws are coming up next. Time on Irie FM is 8:30. You know, listen, my friend Bert Samuels is not any other decision maker in all of this, right? I had him on Muta's program, and we had this conversation. And I'm not going to talk for Bert. And Bert coming on in a little while, but it's not this income for us, so.
Welcome to the official live drawing of the Supreme Games. This could be your lucky day. Get your tickets out and let the games begin.
Happy Rice and Peas Day. Today is Sunday, July 12, 2026. I'm your girl, Carrie Ann, and welcome to our live early bird game draw. Now, before we begin, here's a quick look at last night's winning numbers. Now, just a quick reminder that all live games are being supervised by the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Commission and observed by the independent auditing firm, PwC. And now, let's put some money in a field top draw. Now, this morning's top draw jackpot, of course, starts at $200,000. So, here are your winning top draw numbers. Here we go. And for money on top of money, the first top draw number this morning is a 6. Right after 6, we have 11. Following 11, what will it be? Let's see. It's ball number 3. Following 3, we have a count to the number 4. And our final top draw number for all of $200,000 is lucky number 14. And now let's pick your play with what or dollars games. So I hope you're feeling lucky. Here goes. And the early bird winning dollars numbers are making their way down. Now we kick things off with 13. Next up is a double bubble. That is 11. And coming down slowly but surely, we have ball number 3. Now what will the next dollars number be? It's a 5. Right after 5 comes the number 23. Now we're going to turn it around to the number 32. What is next? It is the number 28. Now the next dollars number coming your way this morning is 18. Following 18, we have the number 25. Next up is the number 34. Now what is next? Here comes it is a solid number 30. And of course, we wrap things up this morning in our Early Bird Dollars game with the number 19. And now for some easy winnings with our Big 2 games. So get those tickets out and of course, let's play. Now the first Big 2 number is 36. And our second Big 2 number, there you have it. It's number 18. So again, the one Big 2 numbers are 36 and of course the number 18. Up next, you can play it all of 3 ways. The game you can play straight, mix, and of course, let me hear you say it. Just back it up. Here goes. Now the first Big 3 number in the Early Bird Big 3 game is a 3. Now the second Big 3 number is 1. And our third and final Big 3 number, here it comes. It is the number 5. So once more, the winning Big 3 numbers are 3, 1, and lucky number 5. It is now time to turn up your winnings with our Big 4 game. The game you can play straight to just simply mix it up. Here goes. First up in our Big 4 game this morning, we have a 0. Now the second Big 4 number is 2. Now the third Big 4 number coming up is 1. And our fourth and the final Big 4 number is 4. So again, the winning Big 4 numbers are 0, 2, 1, and the lucky number 4. Now this is the one.
Alright,
third,
so the idea behind
with
the
here we go.
graveyard. Tell us about it.
Well, we know that the Atlantic
And the Early Bird winning hot pick number this morning is lucky number 15. So congratulations all our hot pick winners again. The winning number is 15. That's all my cashpot lovers and already know this when I live to play it. But guess what? On the thing can win it, so let's get ready to be a big cash spot winner. Round and round they go. What will it be? And this morning's early bird winning cash spot number is the ball's rolling. It's lucky number 9 and the lucky mark is cow. And now let's mega on a winning. So good luck. Round and round they go. What will it be? Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. It's coming right up. It is a mega ball that has been selected. It's now time for the big one. Of course, you guessed it. It's time for the month's winning. So good luck once more. Round and around they go. And of course the balls them off a bubble up. Here we go. What is it gonna be? It is a monster ball that has been selected. So now let's take a look at the early bird winning numbers. And of course, congratulations to everyone who won. So please make sure to come back at 10:30 a.m. for more games you all just love to play. I'm your girl Carrie Ann. Have a supreme Sunday morning.
Hope you were a big winner. Play your favorite Supreme Ventures games every day and tune in for our live draw 6 times a day at 8:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8:25 p.m. on this station. Supreme Ventures, making winners every day.
All right, that was the early bird top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick and cash pot draws. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Join us again at 10:30 a.m. for another chance to win in top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick and cash pot draws.
When I need to order concrete for my big or small jobs, I order only solid concrete. Yes, solid concrete mix for my money. The time by Solid Concrete Mix is
now 8:36.
When you want the food shell and make the rice well, just give me me candle. Anytime of the day, night as well, just give me me candle. Everybody can tell taste good, great smell. Just give me candle. Number one in flavor, no parallel. Talk about quality, you know we excel. Spell it out, KENDEL. Give me candle.
Another quality product from the Carimed Group.
Just give me candle.
It's the greatest show on earth, June 11 to July 19. The entire world will be focused on the USA, Canada, and Mexico. 104 matches, 48 teams, 3 host countries, 1 champion. Who will it be? Exhilarating, pulsating football. The Sporting Choice Irie FM has you fully covered with unbeatable features, stories, facts, and updates. Kickoff, scoreboard, keep up, and playbook. You nah miss nothing. We got it all.
Too far for Ronaldo to think about it.
Absolutely sensational! The football spectacle is brought to you courtesy of Kendall. Just give me Kendall. Bad Dog, the bigger, better, badder sausage and bacon. Any bet, your best bet. Red Stripe, get in the game with Red Stripe and win. KFC, Pepsi Football Nation. Football, better with Pepsi. Digicel, turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. And the Caribbean Passion, smoked meats, easy eats. The greatest show on earth, June 11 to July 19. Right here on Irie FM.
Who that?
It's Irie FM. Sumfest is in the air, and Irie FM can get you there anytime you hear the sound.
Sumfest with
You could be on your way to a taste of Reggae Sunfest at Plantation Cove Saturday, July 18th for free?
Yes man. Keep it booked and stuck to RFM around the clock to answer easy questions to win tickets to a taste of Reggae Sunfest
for free.
Sunfest.
Come on, turn it up. Hey. Come on, man. How much?
Get ready for Little Ochi Seafood Carnival 2026, Sunday, July 12 at the Little Ochi Alligator Pond, Manchester. Powered by Water, Coca-Cola, Rainforest, Alzheimer, Creamy, MBM, KVC, and R1 Communications. Experience over 75 seafood dishes. Live cooking by Blackie, the king of seafood. Admission pre-sale $2,500. All you can eat $13,000.
Any police in the area?
Seafood Carnival, celebration of food.
Call one for me.
Police officer, my talk to you.
All right, we're
Lock
back.
up the man here.
K-Dot, you that, I was answering your text. Thank you so much, K-Dot Azikwe. He says, with the petition, the mace, the Governor General, and all of the colonial vestiges are still firmly in place in Jamaica, do we still celebrate independence? And that is the question, because we're celebrating 64 years of independence, and then in August, and then 3 weeks after that, we're gone to the head of state of England, go and beg him to send some question to somebody, to the Privy Council. We reject the Privy Council and every other council. We reject Queen's Council and every council that comes through England. Let me go to the phone lines, or to any other, the enslavers and colonizers. We do not ramp around here with no enslaver, no colonizer. We will not stand for it. My very good friend and brother is online, and I'm really happy to welcome him to the space in this unusual conversation that we're going to be having. But it's all connected, because my brother is a Pan-African attorney at law, and we're not going to say the other bit of it because he's not representing anybody but himself this morning. So my brother Bert Samuels, a Pan-African attorney at law, online. Bert, how you do?
Who's pimples?
Me, that makes two of us, me. That makes two of us.
Yes, Sister Kabu, I'm here. Yes.
Bert,
Greetings. Is it museum morning or what?
It's museum morning, because me and you talk about Muta program Wednesday night already, so who want to catch that over there, so. Right.
And we got so much things to say right now.
Should I play that? But one thing again, make me come here, do a little jig, Go on, say that again.
We got so much things to say right now.
Bert Samuels. Bert, what is the middle name that your mama gave you?
We got about St. Clair and all the madness.
Look at that, then, now. Bert, look here, Bert Ose Tutu Prempre.
Straight every time.
There you go. We just keep it.
I didn't participate in that naming, so don't bother trouble me. I didn't participate.
I know.
Because all of my children, them is straight African.
I know,
Safari. Ase, Safari, Madiba, Mazalia, Ase, Zoya,
there you go.
Ayana, you want more? Kofi, you want more? Safia, you want more? Tashna, you want more? Samari. Okay, we have them ready, man. Ready for them.
And I must say to our listeners, because they know this already too, that you are the one who, my legal representative, who took my entire situation, because I wanted to change my name, and just said, you don't move. You stay right where you are. And I'll take this. Yeah. And here I am, Kabu Ma'at Kiru.
And then you remember Kabu, you say, how much fees, Bert? I say, you're mad.
No fee. No fees. You did this for me. And Bert, what's interesting is that a lot of people still don't know that that's a name change by deed poll. They still think that is a name that I just give myself and I move with. They don't even know that this is my legal name, Kabu.
Recorded at the Islands Record Office.
Yeah.
Just like your birth certificate.
There
man.
Go, my legal name, Kabu Ma'at Kiru. Anyway, clap yourself, Bert. Bert, you're going to clap yourself for so much, because listen, on Sunday, our listeners will recall that I said to Bigay that I'm moving quickly because I have to go into Kingston, and this is a private event and we can't say much about it. And they'll also recall that when I was talking to you on Wednesday night on Muta's program, and we said Kumasi, you said shh, and I said shh, because we weren't even talking about the Kumasi African Museum, but because of what it was. What a somber, what a solemn occasion, what a beautiful occasion. You have opened, led by the ancestors. You've taken us on a scientific journey into the Ashanti Kingdom of Ghana, into Kumasi with the Kumasi African Museum. First of all, Bert, and we're going to put up some pictures while we're talking to you.
Yes, my sister. Yes, my
sister.
First of all,
tell us about the conceptualization, the vision. Where did this come from?
Oh, gosh. So in 1996, I took my firstborn, Ayana Tehiras, to Ghana, and we went to the fort where the enslavers had penned us up with the church on top. And then we went up to Kumasi because I heard when I was in Accra, they says, you want to see royalty, go to Kumasi. And we journeyed for 4.5 hours on a bus. And I went to the kingdom in my own country, and I see that there's a king here. And I adopted Kumasi, and I left saying, I'm going to build my family home, and it shall be called the House of Kumasi. And then, go, I have all these holy children, and then all of them get big and leave me. And so the ground floor, the grounded floor, is now the Kumasi African Museum. And that's the story. My house was called, I finished it in 1998.
Yes.
And it's called the Kumasi House of Kumasi, and it now houses the Kumasi African Museum. So it's a museum within the House of Kumasi. Yes. Isn't that lovely?
It is brilliant. It is brilliant. And so let us talk about this, because as I said on Sunday, and thanks for inviting me to be a part of this.
You were the mistress of ceremony.
Yes. I was the mistress in ceremony. But Bert, I felt overwhelmed just being in that space, because I felt the spirit of the ancestors. I knew the ancestors were pleased with what we were doing.
Yes.
And I could see them moving on you.
But Kabu, you must remember that. So Sunday night, the 1st of September, 2024, I was in my bed, and the ancestors said, "It's time. It's time you use that space and start your work." And it started on the 1st of September as an idea. And then maybe about 2 days after I called you and said, I'm troubled, Kabu. I called you so many times during the journey to build that museum.
Yes.
Because sometimes I got weak and I asked you for strength. You should let your listeners know that I called you in a state of weakness sometimes when I went with the idea. And when new ideas came to me, I had to share them with you. And sometimes I bother you. You remember, Kabu?
I was never bothered. I got, one of the things, I was such an integral part of this. I felt as if I was there in the physical space, because every wood that was about to be fashioned into something from the mind of our African brothers. You sent me the wood before you sent me being fashioned. You sent me halfway, and so I was on that journey with you. And Bert, I want to back up a bit, because did I miss something? Hold on there, Bert. Let me take a quick break.
Okay.
Get more miles with the Ruby's Ultratech. Fuel the difference for peak performance and maximum savings. Drive more and save more. The time by Ruby's Ultratech is
now 8:47. Pan-African attorney at law Bert Samuels is here, founder, curator of the scientific journey into the Ashanti Kingdom of Ghana, the Kumasi African Museum, and that is right there in Red Hills. It is downstairs his Belvedere home, and he opened that space on last week Sunday so that a few of us could gather to have the official opening or just to ensure that we welcome into the space again ourselves and our ancestors, and we were very, very happy for that. Bert, let me take you back a bit, because you have been in the Pentecostal church, I'm saying, gotta use you. But the ancestors have been really talking to you in a serious way. And this is Mother Father God. Because let us talk about the trial of Governor Irie. I'm backing up a bit, right, to come forward. Because we were able in 2007, was it? To try Governor Irie. I want you to back up a bit and tell our listeners who do not know who Governor Irie was and why we were able to dig him up, symbolically dig up his body and try him and sentence him and hang him.
Yeah, so the Reparation Council, it was reached in 2015. We were going to commemorate 150 years after the murder of over 400 St. Thomas in the East citizens. And in that meeting, someone said, we have to put on something good. And someone said, not me, let's put Governor here on trial. And then they said, pointed at me in the meeting and said, you are the lawyer, write the play.
That must have been,
Cabo, I've never ever written a play. I don't even go to plays.
Yes.
And I said, why are they picking on me? I said, no, I don't write plays. I don't know anything about play. And they just insisted. Yes. So I leave and say, you know what happened? If I fail, nobody can say I'm a playwright and I fail. Let me try a thing. And Kabu, I got a court report. And your listeners, when you go to court, you see the ladies with a little machine and they can write as fast as you can speak. Mm-hmm. I got a court reporter to come to my conference room in my office. I got a lectern. I got 4 bottles of water. And my daughter was visiting. That's Safia, and she was visiting the office and sat in the room with me. 3.5 hours, I spoke the play of Governor Ear from my head and my knowledge of the courtroom and my passion for history. 3.5 hours, non-stop. And she wrote down everything I spoke. I didn't write it. My hands were not used. It was my mouth and my heart that wrote that play. I didn't write one word. And when it was finished, I was tired and I sat. And my daughter looked at me and said, Daddy, this is history. And she's an attorney herself, Safia Samuels. And that's how it was done.
Peter,
a visitation from the ancestors where I got 3 nominated for Actor Boy in that inspirational piece of work. And he was tried. And the last thing I said, Governor Ear, the jury having found you guilty, I can impose 1 sentence and 1 sentence only. You shall suffer death in a manner prescribed by law. Take him away. That's so. And then I sat. I sat. And I felt relieved. I felt that the ancestors and the persons who were executed and murdered by British colonial violence, they said, you have done your job. And that was, a calling that I answered. And Kumasi African Museum is the second calling.
Of course, it's a second calling.
But do you know there's a link? There's a link between what you saw and maybe, I don't know, you and I have been trying to put it in context. Yes. The ancestor who is in the bottom of the Atlantic graveyard that we portrayed in an aquarium with 2 sharks surrounding him.
Hold on there. Before you get to to that, hang on a second.
Yes.
I sent you the... No, we just wanted to... We're not going to carry the audio. Well, if you want to carry the audio, it's fine. No, because we have the play, and we could take a little piece of it if you want.
Yes. Remind me.
Yeah, okay, Peter, let's take... Okay, because so I was a little distracted because Peter is asking, should we take it? Because we can take the audio, we can also take the video. All right. So the link between the ancestral graveyard, which is part of the museum, the Kumasi African Museum, a highlight of the museum, really, which we're going to carry the unveiling of that, which your 2 children did. That was really beautiful also. You're saying that within that there's a link directly from that to Paul Bogle.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. So this is what I met a client. My client brought a man called Williams from Bull Bay, who is a sculptor, an intuitive sculptor, and he sculpts in alabaster stone. That is, it is out in St. Thomas in the hills. And I befriended him, although he was my enemy in the courtroom, and begged him to give me a carving of Bogle, Paul Bogle, because I wanted Bogle to be in my house.
Yes.
And he went off and sculpted Bogle, and I paid him, and I thanked him, I can't pay people for that level of work. So Bogle has been sitting in my house, as part of my family for the past 30 years. And because we are going to immerse whatever we needed, we had to immerse it in the ocean. Yeah. And because it is made of stone, alabaster stone.
Hang on.
I consulted with Bogle's, through his statue and told him that I know he has been burdened already, but I'm asking him to become part of the portrayal of those on the Atlantic floor.
Okay.
And he agreed, and we immersed him 2 days before that. So Bogle is on the Atlantic Ocean, the floor of the Atlantic Ocean, and he's doing it as heroic as he has done the Morant Bay uprising.
We have on the screen, can we get the audio? Is it possible? So we have on the screen, because this was a proper play that was written by Bert. It was during the In Search of series.
Yes, spoken by Bert. Spoken, please. Spoken.
Here at Irie FM and the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, In Search of Paul Bogle. And we culminated with a trial of Governor Eyre. This is now on screen. I am not hearing.
Can I just give you one little tweet on what I see the image? Can you get that tweet?
Known and unknown to carry
6 minutes to 9.
Yeah. These vicious hangings against the four deceased without lawful reason or excuse. You must be satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt. And if you have any doubt in the matter, you must resolve them in favor of Eyre and in favor of Governor Eyre and return a verdict of not guilty. No. If he is to be found guilty, you must be unanimous. That is, you all must be of the view that he is guilty, having considered the evidence and applied the law. If the verdict is divided, then there must be a retrial on this matter. My Lord, I'd like to call my first witness at this time, Mrs. Cecilia Bogle. Sergeant, could you call Cecilia Bogle, please?
Cecilia Bogle? Cecilia Bogle? Take this Bible with your right hand. Recite these words.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give between this matter, sworn between the people and the prisoner at the bar, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Bless you, my Lord.
Mr. Gorey? Grateful, my Lord. Your name is Cecilia Bogle, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you live in Stonygut in the parish of St. Thomas in the East?
Yes, sir.
Were you living in the parish of St. Thomas in the East last month in October of 1865? Yes. With whom?
With me 5 children, sir.
And of the 5, what number is Paul?
Paul is my second child.
Mrs. Bogle, what was your son Paul's occupation?
Farmer.
Would you describe him as a leader in the community?
I don't know him as a leader, sir. He was a deacon, a man of God.
So he was concerned with the people's salvation?
Yes, and them living conditions.
Living conditions. Could you explain that further for the jury, please?
Well, he always used to say that the shepherd have to be concerned about how the flock eats. It's enough people starving down here, you know. And he always say, you can't talk to dead people about salvation.
So did he make attempts to ease the people's suffering?
Objection, my Lord, it's a leading question.
Sustained. What was his relationship with the people, Mrs. Bogle?
He was a man of the people, a stomach growing. Him feed who him could feed, but that could only go so far. I teach them how to fish, sir. But I saw them catch fish. I saw the governor and the people them box it out of their mouths.
What do you mean by he taught the people how to fish?
Him teach them how free man for behave, sir. What them people y'all call free and not free? Back and slavery, them a try pan way. Free man supposed to work and find food to feed himself. Free man not supposed to get beat up and lock up cause him cross land well locked down. Free man supposed to walk with dignity. Them things them my son talk up for. And them kill him feet, sir. Them murder him. Governor here make them murder my son.
Mrs. Bogle, I notice you're looking a little tired. Would you like a seat?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You know, and we're going to leave it there for a minute. Bert, if you don't mind, sharp. I mean, I'm watching this again and I'm saying, I'm still
yes. Can I tell you a secret?
Yes, go ahead.
The prosecutor who you hear asking those questions, when he was addressing the jury,
yes,
he was overwhelmed and he went off script.
Yes.
Beautifully. Yes, he couldn't manage. Yes. What I gave him to say, the ancestors came upon him and he began to go off script.
Yes.
Because he got so emotional. So he was saying a lot of things that I didn't tell him to say. But it was more than important that he went off script and he was captivated by the moment and the ancestors. And that was beautiful. I guess the same thing happened in Malcolm X's movie when Denzel went off script. Yeah. When the power of Malcolm consumed him, he went off script and that became part of the movie. And strange things when you get, when you're led by these, emotional matters.
And let me just say to our listeners again that this was written by you. Obviously, historian on the project and the leader on the project was Professor Vereen Shepherd and Irie FM.
Yes.
And we worked tirelessly on the In Search of Paul Bogle series. And when we sat in that courthouse, I don't know how Vereen got that newly minted courthouse for all of this to play out, though. I need to ask her, how did she come to get them to give us the courthouse? Because that is in a newly minted courthouse in St. Thomas that this was tried. And but I'm looking at this again, and I'm thinking that was a moment when an enslaver, a colonizer, was from we the people was literally resurrected because he had gone to his death in the physical self without paying for the crimes that he committed against Jamaican people, especially in the Morant Bay Rebellion, but across Jamaica, the Morant Bay War. That he was, through your words, dug up and tried in the courthouse. And not only tried, but found guilty by a jury of his peers, and then the sentence. Tell us the sentence, Bert.
Miss Governor, here stand. The jury having found you guilty of these crimes, the law gives me one choice. One punishment is that you shall suffer death in a manner prescribed by law. Take him away.
And me collect me the ear and say hang him.
No, but I tell you, now the gentleman who acted Governor Eyre, which is what you call in Jamaica half-white actor, what's his name? You know him.
Yes.
Yeah, the crowd outside were so moved that they wanted to take him.
To mob him.
And we had to get police protection for him to leave the parish.
He's a good actor.
That's what.
I felt the same way. But let me take a quick break and come back.
Yeah.
Hurricane Melissa tested us, but Jamaica rises together. Visit supportjamaica.gov.jm to report damage, request help, or donate. Together, we will rebuild stronger. The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is
2 minutes after 9 o'clock. Bert Samuels, Pan-African attorney at law, is online. He's taking us through a scientific journey into the Ashanti Kingdom of Ghana through the Kumasi African Museum, which is in Red Hills. Bert, so we're talking about the pieces now and the connection between the museum and then back to Paul Bogle, because one of the things that you did there was to unveil the ancestral graveyard. Tell us about it.
Okay, so The idea was mine of bringing the Atlantic Ocean into the House of Kumasi because I felt enough was not done to remember those who jumped overboard or those who were thrown overboard. Our history books have not dealt with that in ways that it should. And it's innumerable. So they are lying on the floor of the Atlantic Ocean as we speak. And I felt that we needed to do a commemoration. They were never got burial rights. They were never buried. Nobody kept a funeral for them. And therefore, I think I had a duty now to, as it were, commemorate them and give them their rights. And so I am there in my bed and I said, okay, I'm going to get this big fish tank and I need some sharks. And I give first respect and thanks to O'Connor, a former police officer retired. He donated the sharks free of cost. And we decided to replicate the Atlantic Ocean, which would be sand at the bottom. And then Bogle had agreed to go in, and then he's lying head up, facing the east. He's actually facing the Atlantic Ocean. That's what we made sure that he was facing it. So he's immersed partly in sand, and the water is there. The sharks are swimming around him, and they're having a feast on him. And that is what we did. So I then shared it with a sister, Yannick, is her name, and she said, that's too emotional. Do not have it opened. Cover it with cloth, black cloth, and have an unveiling. And that was her idea. As so many persons have contributed their own ideas to the effort, including herself, Kabu. And so that is how it came about. So it was covered. Your audience came in, and they saw this thing covered, this thing, nobody knew what it was, and you can take it from there. You were there. You dealt with it yourself in a beautiful way.
Let us play the video of it because we have a short video of that somber moment, solemn moment. As Peter get that up on screen. When you're ready, are we? Okay, go ahead.
All right, Bert, the idea behind.
Company owned by the British monarch sailed the seas and refused to pay reparation. The Atlantic Ocean came to me one night. It's a graveyard for all of us ancestors. And because of that, I decided to ask my sister Maniqua, my friend, asked that it be covered out of respect for the event, and it should be unveiled by Aseh, Zoya, and Prince Safari Madiba. I feel honored to know that I pass it to them to unveil its cruelty.
It's a somber moment. May I ask you to stand as we unveil this replica, which is titled The Atlantic Graveyard. Zoya and Safan. 3, 2, 1. The Atlantic Graveyard. A moment of silence. We're going to take the drums right now for a moment of silence for all of our ancestors who have perished in the Atlantic. All right, so
yes, that was if that don't move you, something wrong with you. Trust me.
I'm telling you. I'm here still getting goose pimples, Bert. That is that. And it also tears you up. And I recognize that you also cried. There were a few times when you cried there. And one of those times when you cried was when you did another really symbolic thing. And it was more than symbolic, poignant, because one of the things you did was to pass this work, this labor, this ancestral work onto your young son. And I saw that he was so moved, How old is he again? How young is he?
12 years old. Yes.
I think we
Yes.
that picture.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
Yes.
he was the one who also cut the ribbon as, persons.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, Prince Shamari. Safari, rather. Name Madiba Safir. His mother named him Safir, and then I named him Madiba.
Beautiful.
Very passionate. He's himself a very passionate Pan-Africanist. Yes. When we went to get the artifacts, we went to the kind Mr. Nasrallah, which is what you call a half-white Jamaican. And when my son saw the cruelty of the artifacts, the branding iron, when he was leaving, he looked at Mr. Nasrallah, I having shook his hand. And when Mr. Nasrallah handed his hand to him, he said, "Tell me something. Are you fond of black people?" A 12-year-old looking at an adult and asking him. So he's strongly, spirited, and the ancestors are with him. And that's why I know that I had to hand the museum to him.
Beautiful work. This is great work. Many questions coming in, persons, and there's so many questions that's coming on the Irie FM number.
Everybody want to come.
Yes, so that's one.
Well, no, can we deal with that? So yes, primarily, Kabu, I want the main visitors to that museum will be primary school students, poor people children. I went to Solofield Primary. My mother had 10 children. We all went to, primary school. And because of the prevalence of bleaching and the failure to give the true picture of Africa, I've decided that ages 6 to 12, primary school students in particular, should view the museum. And I'm going to be the curator. I'm going to be walking with them with my son behind me because he's in training. Yes. So to describe the items in the museum, you notice you saw royal gowns made in Accra, in the market in Accra. So it's royalty. It is both the great history that we have and proud history, and also slavery. And there's a huge statement in it that from you, Kabu, on a photograph that says African history is not slavery. Slavery interrupted African history. And those are great words from you, Kabu. I salute you for it. It could be the theme of the museum. I think that's an appropriate theme of the museum, that African history is not slavery. Slavery only interrupted the glorious history of Africa. Because when those children come in, for example, I'm going to say, do you know the pyramids of Egypt in Africa? Yes. Well, there are pyramids south of the Egyptian pyramids in Africa, which are centuries before those were built, in sub-Saharan Africa, where they were built, and no one knows, no European has been able to work out how the physics and the science between building these pyramids. So when they make us out to be other than educated, we can boast about physical sites in Africa, which shows that we had philosophers and scientists and mathematicians who could marvel the world. That's the kind of education that I want children to leave that museum with their chests high, being proud of their skin color, being proud of their history. That's the purpose of the museum. That is why a 12-year-old owns the museum. It's for another generation. We must pass it on.
But Bert, how can we pass on something like this when we still have Charles as a head of state and a monarch?
No, that's horrible. And listen, I heard you. So we should know that on the books, the head of Jamaica, the head of state of Jamaica is Charles III. So I was in court when his mother died, and we were in the middle of a case, and one of the Queen's counsel at the time interrupted the proceedings and said, the Queen is dead. And she said she has a note out of Buckingham Palace that as of now, that moment, she's no longer Queen's counsel. She's now King's counsel. And the judge continued the case by calling her King's counsel.
Goodness.
Yes, that is it. So, she was about to be called Queen. She wanted not to be called the dead Queen, but the living King. And so that relationship with the monarch, and that is why when I was opening the Atlantic Ocean, I made sure my audience know that Charles's bloodline, Charles II, is the one who opened up the toll booth and had human trafficking and bringing us over here, that they owe us reparations. So the monarchy is deeply involved in our Holocaust, and that is what I'm going to teach the children. So this God Save the King that they're still saying in court, and I did write to the Chief Justice and tell him to retire it. He has refused to do it. So that where should we go to court every day for justice? By saying God must save the king, the bloodline of those who enslaved us. We are intertwined in this Holocaust and this which is horrible.
This is a prayer, because it is a prayer when you say God save somebody. You're praying to God for God to save somebody. Is this a prayer then of the judiciary in Jamaica, that whole arm of government? We say we are the fourth estate over here, so the journalism. But can you imagine? Is this a prayer then of the judiciary in Jamaica at this time, before we even say God save the people?
Yeah, and you know, there's a Guyanese judge who presides in Jamaica, and she refuses to say, God save the king. The police have to say in her courts, God save the people, and she's doing it against protocol. I'm sure that she may be contacted for doing it. So that what we do is they have retired God save the king in England. As usual, we are trying to wear the old clothes and continue colonialism down here. Can you imagine in England, they no longer say God save the king, and down here, I call upon the Chief Justice to retire it tomorrow morning. We are still saying God save the king, and they don't say it in England. How do your listeners feel about that?
Well, well, listen, Bert, I know you're not here to talk about this because we talked about it already. But the government of Jamaica is now making plans right after Jamaica's so-called 64th year of independence to go to England. And Bert, you're a part of the delegation to go to England to ask, to beg Charles, who is in a paternalistic position as head of state of Jamaica, to refer our questions and reparations to his Privy Council. But then we don't have the thing turned upside down, as I was saying.
Yeah, we do. But you see, I wear a lawyer's cap, so I don't know if you can allow me just 1 minute to tell you what the lawyer would say.
I'm going to give you the minute. Hang on, Bert, hang on.
If we are to go to the United Nations.
Bert, hold on, hang on. Because I don't want to cut in the middle of you. So let me just take this break and you come back.
Yes, sir.
For 50 years, the NHT has been committed to helping Jamaicans become homeowners.
I've been at the NHT for 20 years and had the privilege of working at handing over ceremonies. Just seeing the joy of people getting those keys.
That's the kind of joy I'm looking forward to seeing more of.
As the NHT continues to put keys in the hands of more Jamaicans.
The National Housing Trust, 50 years of building communities and housing generations.
It's the greatest show on earth, June 11 to July 19. The entire world will be focused on the USA, Canada, and Mexico. 104 matches, 48 teams, 3 host countries, 1 champion. Who will it be? Exhilarating, pulsating football. The Sporting Choice Irie FM has you fully covered with unbeatable features, stories, facts, and updates. Kickoff, scoreboard, keep up, and playbook. You nah miss nothing. We got it all.
Too far for Ronaldo to think about it. Absolutely sensational!
The football spectacle is brought to you courtesy of Kendall. Just give me Kendall. Bad Dog, the bigger, better, badder sausage and bacon. Any bet, your best bet. Red Stripe, get in the game with Red Stripe and win. KFC, Pepsi Football Nation. Football, better with Pepsi. Digicel, turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. And the Caribbean Passion, smoked meats, easy eats. The greatest show on earth, June 11 to July 19. Right here on Irie FM.
It's Irie FM.
This Friday,
the ocean chose you to save us all.
The stories are true.
The story has just begun.
From Disney.
Moana Amotunui, daughter of the chief. Let's save the world.
Ready?
It's Maui time. I'm gonna eat whatever that is.
His name is Hey Hey.
Boat snack.
Disney's Moana. In theaters Friday. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Get tickets now.
Sumfest is in the air, and Irie FM can get you there anytime you hear the sound.
Sumfest with Sir.
You could be on your way to a taste of Reggae Sunfest at Plantation Cove Saturday, July 18th for free?
Yes, man. Keep it booked and stuck to REFM around the clock to answer easy questions to win tickets to a taste of Reggae Sunfest
for free.
Sunfest with Sir.
Magnum, the champions of dancehall present a taste of Reggae Sunfest. We are talking about performance by Vibes Cartel, Mabado, Jamal, Asian, plus me, your Billboard selector. World Boom, Champion Vibes, Champion Prize, Bucket Deal, 6 Magnum for only $4,000. Link your crew and follow at the Magnum Lounge. Plus look out for a special surprise from Magnum. July 18, Plantation Court. This is one you go loud. Magnum, the champion of dancehall, present a taste of Reggae Sunfest. You must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
We lived in an electric world. We relied on it for everything. And then the power went out. Everything stopped working. We weren't prepared. Fear and confusion led to panic. The lucky ones made it out of the cities. The government collapsed. Militias took over, controlling the food supply and stockpiling weapons. We still don't know why the power went out. But we're hopeful that someone will come and light the way.
19 minutes after 9 o'clock, and we still don't know why the power went out, but that's a whole other conversation. Pan-African attorney at law, Bert Samuels, is online. He has, right here in Jamaica, taken us on a scientific journey into the Ashanti Kingdom of Ghana, into Kumasi, the land of Ose Tutu and Prempeh and Asantua. And this is
Nana. Don't leave out Nana.
So listen to me now, Bert. You were explaining to us that if it's taken to the United Nations.
Yes, the United Nations has a rule that you must exhaust your domestic legal system before you come before them to show that you tried to get relief in your own domestic system. Now, unfortunately, the Privy Council is the highest court in Jamaica, so we have to show that we exhaust our local remedies. You remember that in 2002, I argued in a Jamaican court for reparations. I made that case. I represented 3 Rastafarian brethren in a claim for reparation. The first thing the judge said to me was that, how can I come to the Queen's Court to make a claim against her? So I know the legal hurdles that I'm facing, but we have to sometimes be pragmatic. I remember when the cartel case was going to the Privy Council, a journalist asked me, but you don't believe in the Privy Council, so why are you going there? I said to him, if you were charged for murder and the only chance to get off was to go to the Privy Council, would you want me to go for you? So sometimes it's a pragmatic approach.
No, but hang on there, Bert. my brother and my dearest friend. Listen, I want to make a point here, because it is comparing apples and eggs with the cartel case, because obviously that is going through the court system, and then it was sent to the highest court. It's now been taken to the highest court, which is the Privy Council. All right. The fight for reparations of freedom for liberation, which is all part of the reparations fight.
Yeah.
It has to be situated in us exhausting all of our local.
That's right.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
Part of us exhausting whatever we have local is to remove constitutional reform. That is our first order of business. We are making.
In fact, that is true. I agree with you, sister, because there are people even within the council, Reparation Council, who felt that we must move towards decolonizing the Constitution as a first step. However, if we did that ahead, we would lose the opportunity to go to him and then let him refuse it, because I know that he's going to refuse it. He's going to refuse it.
Remember,
and then now we want to make a point of that. How can you refuse an argument that slavery was illegal on the international stage?
Bert.
Yes.
We will not lose anything if we go constitutional reform first and get rid of the monarchy as head of state. We will lose nothing.
But Barbados is gone and she has lost nothing. She has a proud leader, yeah?
And this is it. And so we have deluded ourselves with a paradigm that has us trapped in colonialism, ongoing slavery, and
Yes.
and neo-colonialism.
But Kabu, I'm fully aware of the
imperialism.
historical side. Remember that in
This is-
1865, the
Bert, this is
people
the
of St.
legal
Anne,
side.
in July of that year,
I refuse.
petitioned Queen, and she sent back and said that they were suffering, and they needed to be relieved. It's 27 years since they get freedom. They are all squatters. They are being charged for trespassing on plantations. And she wrote back and said, "Go back to work, and if you work hard, you'll make the plantations
That is why Paul
profitable."
Bogle
So she's they're always on the side of the planter. I am aware of that.
This is why Paul Bogle marched. This is why Letitia
Yeah, and them slammed the door and him out in St. Thomas. Ear didn't come out to him,
This
They
is why
slammed.
Letitia
Yeah.
Gohegan took up the first stone and threw it at the courthouse. This is why George William Gordon assisted. Now, the point I want to make, though, is that the premise upon which the argument is based for why we need to go to Charles is the first falsehood. And it don't matter what we say, unless we get rid of this premise, then we will use taxpayers'
It's Section 4 of the law that they created. It's their law that says, Section 4 says,
why we have
any matter that we are upset about, for want of a better word, we can bring it before him to go to the Privy Council to make a decision on it. So,
we are not upset about this. This is not.
But do you know that there's a Jamaican judge on the Privy Council, though? You know that.
But it doesn't even matter, though, Bert.
Okay.
Because the plan is to take this thing to Charles. I'm telling you that premise. It's cognitive dissonance. We cannot hold these two things at the same time, because what are we going to do with one? We have to get rid of the one that tells us that we have to go to the monarchy, who enslaved our ancestors, who continue to oppress our people, who is colonizing our people in the Caribbean and on the continent of Africa and wherever we are as a people. Ask Jude Bellingham, the one who just scored two goals yesterday. And this
allowed to do it. Yes.
It's ask Meghan Markle, right? Ask Saka, the football player. Ask anyone in England. I lived in England. I studied in England. I'm telling you that the oppression and the colonial...
The crowd call them monkeys. Don't they call them monkeys in England?
It continues just the same. And I'm saying the premise that we have, this thing is built up on a premise that is faulty. And why can't we get it in our heads that we do not need the King of England or anybody from the monarchy to tell us that the fight for reparations is right?
One thing I know that I don't have any miseducation about them giving us any freedom or giving us reparations. We're going to have to fight for that. I mean, 300 and odd years we were down here. Do you think they were sorry for us any time? And they dare to say it's Wilberforce free us? It was the anti-slavery movement that free us. It is the people that will always free us. I accept that, Kabu. It's the burning down, it's Sam Sharp burning down the cane fields and make it unprofitable that will help us.
And
It's an economic war. It's not going to be a moral war. Because they're saying that slavery was legal. They're saying that slavery was legal. In the United States, they say that black people were 3/5 or 4/5 of white people. So we are dealing with a status quo that makes us less than human. They said we are not human beings. That's why they could rape our sisters and our mothers with impunity. No slave owner ever was charged for rape or murder in Jamaica. Can you believe that?
And they already paid them compensation. And the question is, how did for the Israelis who identify as Jews and the Holocaust, they didn't have to make no delegation going anywhere. As a matter of fact,
they just get it. They just get it like that on a platter, and they dare to say and oppose our move in the United Nations. They opposed it. Israel opposed the fact that we said that the Holocaust which lasted, theirs lasted 10 years, ours lasted almost 4 centuries. And they're saying that, hey, it's okay, because they have us as subhumans. That's why when the Haiti people went to the World Cup, they removed the jerseys from them. How dare you come here to remember your glorious success against our French brothers? So it's a war. It's a racial war. It's an anti-black war. I'm so fully aware of that.
How can we be going to those who enslaved us, who enslaved our ancestors, who continue to oppress us, who have all of these, so many of these laws and rules and regulations still in place, who are still colonizers. How can we be going to bow to them in England to ask them any question? We already know the answer to the question. We must get rid of the monarchy as a head of state of Jamaica, like Barbados has done. And see, Barbados has now come up with a figure. In the last week, Barbados came up with a figure which they have also now submitted, thrown out there. I don't even know if the extent to which it has been submitted. Probably it went to Ghana and so on. But this is the way to go. What have we become? Our ancestors are ashamed of us. And any delegation that leave here, and Bert, we are friends, and I'm telling you something, any delegation that leave here and go to bow to King Charles is doing something wrong. I tell you this already, my brother. I think you should excuse yourself from the delegation. You might have to step down from the National Council of Reparations. Can I help you? Anyway, Bert, look here. Congratulations.
Every time they say God save the king in Jamaican court, the police will tell you they hear the voice of Bert Samuels saying, "Fire burn for King Charles."
That is true. And for the monarchy, and you have been guiding.
You know I burn him Sunday gone, right?
I know.
You know I burn him Sunday.
I know.
Okay.
And I know you have been doing this. I mean, everybody who knows this program and know how far we have come from, know that this has been your no matter what we call you about, you come right back to this, the need to...
I could have applied for and gotten King's Counsel. I would never bow and take that title.
So what are you doing on a delegation that's going up to King Charles to ask him questions?
Firebird for King Charles.
Look here, I tell you something. Look here.
But so I can't big up the people who helping at the museum now because
go right ahead, my brother. We totally gone off, but I think we really have done kind of looked at this, and we must tell people how to get there. And also whether or not it's open to the public, how it is open to the public, and then go ahead and pick up your staff.
All right, so as I said, the first school that is my son's school, Safari School, is the first group of students. The second one is the Red Hills Primary, who graciously lent me their grounds for parking. The third school is my alma mater, Swellfield Primary. The students will come from there. And then I would send it out through the Ministry of Education. That's groups of 10 with kids doing social studies, especially grade 5. They are doing a lot of African history in their grade 5 PEP. They are the target groups. Now, any other arrangements, I will post for persons to come. I mean, there are people from Europe who want to come and film the museum. Yes, they are being filtered. I mean, Safari is the owner. It has to go through him, and he has a particular view about whether we should open it up to persons who may be trying to profiteer from our history. So yes, I will at the appropriate time send out how I can be contacted for tours in the museum, because it is the People's Museum. The opening was a Pan-Africanist affair. I made sure that people of like mind came to the launch, but now I'm going public, and as I say, I'm focusing on from 6 to 12-year-old children in public schools, poor people business.
And thanks to the team that came out. We heard from Professor Vereen Shepherd, we heard from
Amina, Lakim, yourself. Oh no, you did such a great one. Thank you,
Bert. And do you know, I met my mentor, Earl Witter, and that's a long story. Who was there? And I know he listens to Running African still when he gets a chance. So good morning.
Big up Earl. Thanks for coming there. You know, I tried to get Vivian Crawford, who donated the Yaba Bowl from Malu. So many donations, and you gave me that nice staff from South Africa. Thanks again, Skabu. It's become. I take donations from Africa and all over. I have stuff coming in from Ethiopia. I'm coming in more from Ghana, some from all over Africa. I'm getting many donations. It's going to be full. It's going to be a glorious museum in celebration of the ancestors. Brilliant. Can I big up all those who did stuff for me now? Quick. Big up Hugh Campbell, the man who carved, Kumasi Museum out of that wood. big up the branding specialist, Banton. Big up Patrice Martin, who prepared the Atlantic Ocean with the sand and the sharks. My daughter Tashna, who is an events planner, she was organized such a great event. Roxy Fuller, he gave me the rope and the book, several books. The Cuban items were given by Roxy Fuller. O'Connor, retired officer, gave me the sharks. Kofi in England, thank you for giving me such. Kabu, you did so great, and you gave me the staff, as I said. And also Mr. Osborne, who did the dirty work and put things together. Tracy Elliston was one of the hostess. And also Vereen Shepherd gave me some books that she herself wrote, some written by Hillary. The Vice Chancellor. Big up that team, and big up all those who I may have forgotten for making it a glorious launch of Kumasi African Museum. And finally to Prince Safari, take the mantle and run with it, my son.
Beautiful work. Asheo, thank you so much. No, thank you so much, B. Thank you so much.
One love. Take care.
This time signal is brought to you by Sandals Resorts, protecting the environment, supporting lives and livelihoods. The time by Sandals Resorts is
9:33. You're inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African.
They say you can't be in two places at once. Yes, we can at Paris. On July 20, we remember and honor the work of Alonzo Hawk and celebrate the anniversary of Soul Express Monday. One night, July 20, at Paris Lounge, Joe Lane, Spanish Town. We're rocking to the sound of Shuckle Bus, DJ Ray, Fire Us, as we remember Alonzo Hawk and celebrate our anniversary for Soul's Express Monday. Admission is $1,000 and ladies free before 9 p.m. Paris Lounge, Joe Bladen, Spanish Town, July 20. Food and refreshment on sale. Soul's Express Mondays and Alonzo Hawk Memorial at Paris.
Football season, energy up. Any bet, pick your play, pick your play. Big match vibes, make us celebrate. Pick your play, pick your play. Every match is a chance to win. Pick your play. See the odds, I'm locking my pick. Think you know about football? Pick your predictions and put it to the test at anybet.com. Bet on match winners, goal scorers, live betting, and tournament champions. Online or in-store, every match is a chance to win. Anybet, your best bet. Sign up today and pick your play at anybet.com. Must be 18 and over, bet responsibly.
Sunday, July 12, the vibes are heading to Little Ochi Alligator Pond for the biggest seafood event of the summer, Little Ochi Seafood Carnival. Enjoy explosive live performances from Busy Signal, Chanel Muir, and Queen Ifrica. Music from Bass Odyssey, Star Level, and DJ Lollipop. Admission pre-sale $2,500. All you can eat $13,000. Great food, great music, and unforgettable vibes. Little Ochi Seafood Carnival.
Get ready for a night of music, wine, and entertainment at Elegance. The Ballroom Experience. A night of 70s, 80s, and 90s Soul's classics.
Don't play it no more.
Sunday, July 19th at the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom. With music by Master Raj, Crazy Chris, DJ VJ Snow, and Welton Irie. Admission $10,000 general, $15,000 VIP. Hors d'oeuvres and wine will be served. Start time 5 p.m. until 11 p.m. Sponsored by Swift Car Rental, Just Water, Tropical Bliss, and Sign Channel.
Saint Anne, exciting news is coming your way. Biomedical is growing and you are invited to celebrate the grand opening of its newest location on Tuesday, July 14th at the Draxall Commercial Complex. Come enjoy convenient access to trusted diagnostic testing, professional lab services, wellness screenings, and quality patient care. And that's not all. Irie FM will be on location from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. So come out and celebrate with us or tune into the 107s and catch all the action as it happens. That's a live broadcast from the grand opening of Biomedical Draxall Collection Center, Tuesday, July 14th on Irie FM.
Do you have the voice, the flow, or the swag of Vibes Cartel or Movado? Now is your chance to prove it. Record a 30-second video performing your favorite Vibes Cartel or Movado song. Bring the energy, the lyrics, the style, and the stage presence. Here is how to enter. Record your 30-second performance. Post it on Instagram. Tag Irie FM Official in your post. Use the hashtag IrieSumFest Challenge. The most creative, entertaining, and authentic performance will win an exclusive backstage pass to Reggae Sumfest 2026, giving you the opportunity to experience Jamaica's biggest reggae festival like never before. Whether you're Team Gully,
Them start a war with them can't
or Team Gaza,
I be a strength them up. Your strength alone them up.
it's time to show us what you've got. Entries open now. Don't miss your chance to perform, impress, and win with Irie FM, Jamaica's reggae radio station.
Never know your trick people. Yeah, I'm gonna know your jerk chicken.
We still don't know why the power went out.
Well, Minister Daryl Vaz gave the JPS 30 days to respond and to submit a report regarding why Jamaica went dark on June 5. Power restored on June 6. 30 days would have been up on Monday, Monday gone. And we haven't heard anything. I'm not saying that the report hasn't been submitted. I'm merely saying that I haven't heard anything, so I do not know. I don't know what journalism is doing. I've scoured, all of the media houses and the newsrooms to see if they are reporting on this and if they have recalled the 30 days, but I haven't seen anything. So let me know if you know anything. An interesting thing is happening here. In South Africa, actually, we've been looking at South Africa. The U.S. ambassador to South Africa, Brent Bozell, he has been meeting with members of the apartheid parties, the Afrikaans, the same people who Donald Trump has given refuge to. Ambassador Leo Brent Bozell III, he met in Pretoria with leaders from the Solidarity Movement. These include the and the Freedom Front, and they said that it's to discuss issues affecting the Afrikaans community. They say they are focusing on stability and prosperity. According to the U.S. Embassy, the discussion centered on how U.S. government, U.S. engagement with the apartheid parties, they say Afrikaan, but with the apartheid era parties and the communities could contribute to a safer and more prosperous South Africa. So the takeover is more or less done. Apartheid is long back. There are some people who have come out talking about the U.S. sanctions against South Africa. And the meeting actually took place amid a major diplomatic rift. The engagement comes during one of the lowest points in U.S.-South Africa relations since the end of apartheid, with disagreements over land reform, race policy, and South Africa's foreign policy orientation. This is very serious because the U.S. government, through its ambassador, is not meeting with the ANC, although the ANC now has merged with the DA, which is apartheid also. But this is a test of the ANC's governance. And we're paying very, very close attention to that. It signals a challenge to the ANC's international legitimacy. It weakens the ANC's monopoly on the South African narrative. We talked about that last week. It creates pressure on the ANC land and transformation policy. This is a big conversation now, especially with the Black economic empowerment policy that Elon Musk is challenging, and that his father, who is one of the architects of apartheid, is ensuring that he is behind the scenes pushing the new apartheid. It also is reflecting broader on the geopolitical tensions. So we have South Africa, a member of BRICS. That's important. We're looking also at South Africa's relationship with China. That is also important to note. South Africa's relationship with Russia, South Africa's case against Israel at the International Court of Justice, and Pretoria's push for a multipolar world, which is the language of China. We're watching to see what happens. Apartheid, they say, is not being restored. But apartheid is dead. Long live apartheid. I'm not quite sure how this is going to pan out. But for those who are watching on YouTube and on your screens, you'll see those who have met. These are all apartheid leaders, including the U.S. ambassador to South Africa. So this represents an attempt to weaken the ANC. But the ANC has already weakened itself. We see where the U.S. is putting serious pressure on South Africa and governments on the continent of Africa who are pursuing independent foreign policies. We're seeing this as Pan-Africans and as African-centered people as part of a campaign to challenge South Africa's leadership and its role within BRICS and the so-called Global South. I'm saying it just, for ease of conversation. We do not like the term. But do you understand where we are? The future direction of South Africa-U.S. relations looks like it's going to be with the apartheid parties. So the ANC is more or less powerless. We heard that last week from our brother, Amonua. It's a matter of time. The deeper issue is now about the struggle of who gets to define South Africa and the future of South Africa in the new economic and the new world order. So this liberation movement that ended apartheid and the liberation groups that fought against apartheid, everything is connected, Everything is connected. Ghana was supposed to meet with Cyril Ramaphosa, Mahatma, his name from Ghana, the president of Ghana, was supposed to meet with Cyril Ramaphosa. He canceled the meeting. This is exactly what they want. African people are making the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. We cannot continue to make the same mistakes or there will be no liberation. This is our problem. If we do not know our history, we are bound to repeat them. What is it that Ghana doesn't understand about the history of Africa and South Africa in particular? Why did Ghana cancel that meeting? And as we talk about South Africa, very sad news in Peter coming out of South Africa with the footballer who died. Do we have any more information on him? Do we know? I know they're talking about all kinds of stuff, but, we don't know. But I said that here, when I saw South Africa playing, and I spoke about him in particular, that he looked depressed. But I'm not saying that he did anything. I don't know, how he died. But the entire South Africa team, I said in this space that you could see the depression on them. And the mistake that Africa was making, that we fall into their trap every time, that the entire continent of Africa cheered for some other country, I think it was Mexico, over South Africa. I do not know why we keep making these same mistakes. We have oppression. We have more or less slavery, human trafficking, and we still cheer for the colonizers. We're cheering for France and the US and England and so on. And all of them are engaged in the very same thing with our people. And South Africa, you turn around and you're more upset for why? We're making the same mistakes. And I'm not saying that's what's happening in South Africa is not bad. It is bad. The point of the matter is that you will not treat France the way you treat South Africa. If Macron wants to come to Ghana next week, he's welcomed. And this is why we have a problem. Because we do not understand ourselves as African people. I have other things to get through. Hang on. I'm really, did I just hiss my teeth? I'm really just fed up with we have to be more than we currently are. We must be able to see through the maze and the mist and the Sahara dust or whatever dust that is clouding our eyes. We're quick to be very upset with our own people. But those who have them boots on our necks, we welcome them with open arms. Look here now, I just want to say something quick. They're lying to us. Those who are talking to us about third country deportees or third country nationals are lying to us. There is a deliberate effort on this island in Jamaica to confuse the people of Jamaica, to throw in the midst of everything as much mud and as much confusion as they possibly can. So you have one person over here say nothing, say something. You have somebody over there sitting down with GIS saying another thing. And the bottom line is this. If former Ambassador Audrey Marks went to a meeting in March in the US, the Prime Minister already said it was a shield of the Americas. The shield of the Americas is important. It's a framework within which a third country nationals and a third country deportees is situated in for the Americas. There's a whole different, for Africa it is different. For Africa it's a health. You see this health thing that African people, America First Health Care, America First Health, that African countries are asked to sign on to. These are bilateral agreements with African countries, and you see how many African countries have already signed on? Well, the third country deportation on the continent of Africa, the legal framework in which that is situated is in the America First Health policy. In the Americas, including Jamaica, the legal framework in which, and political framework and economic framework in which the deportation of third country nationals is situated is in the shield of the Americas. Let us understand that. Now, they are not deporting people who are documented per se. There's something that has happened recently in America, and that is there was a vote at the Supreme Court for the temporary protective status of Haitians and Syrians and so on. I'm talking about Haiti, where the Supreme Court voted to lift that, and that has been lifted. And they're about to send hundreds of thousands of Haitians from the United States back into Haiti or into third countries. Let us put that aside until next week. We pick that up back. That is important to note. That's a whole separate thing. Now, if any ambassador at all, talks about taking any skilled workers from the United States who are undocumented mean the very same thing as illegal in another country or something to that, or they're under the temporary protective status, but almost close to that. You understand? So the point is, these are not people who want to leave America. These skilled people are not people who want to leave America. These skilled people, who are undocumented skilled people, they are the very same people who are part of the third country deportee or the third country nationals. It's one and the same. It's not two different things. And we're not fool. You want to pass it out now and separate it, and you might very well succeed. But the initial thing, which we have been told by the Prime Minister, and which and yes, because he talked about the meeting being the shield of the Americas, we understand it on a broader level when you say it is a shield of the Americas. So I want to say clearly that the Jamaican government must make the MOU that it signed with the United States available. We can't get it through access to information. We don't need to get it through access to information. Let us see the MOU that you signed. And the Jamaican people must stand as stalwarts against the illegal deportation of any other ethnic group anywhere from the United States, because that is human trafficking. And we are not against anybody coming into Jamaica, don't matter where you're coming from. That's not the point we're making. It is the forced removal of people. And by forced, we mean your choice was America. America has decided to deport you. You're not going back to your country. You're forced to go to another country, and that country, of course, being Jamaica. Let us look at the shield of the Americas. It is very important to do so. Can you widen that? Let me see, because the camera is blocking it, so I can just read it through. Or maybe I can read from my phone. But, it's an interesting thing that is unfolding in Jamaica. And there is a lot of them are just sitting down and lying to us. And I do not know at what point we are going to say to the government of Jamaica, enough of your lies. Enough of your lies. And I want to say to the people of Jamaica, go and look again at the shield of the Americas. I can't see it from there. All right, let me do it. It's a camera, but it's okay. I'll do it for mine. But look on the shield of the Americas, right? The security framework that Jamaica wants. So the third country deportation under the shield of the Americas. This provides a migration framework. The shield of the Americas is a big deal. So when you're asking questions about how is this being done? What is happening here? Well, listen, you have the migration framework, which is the third country deportation under the shield of the Americas. It is written within it. You have the revived Monroe Doctrine or the Donroe Doctrine, which provides a strategic doctrine. You have stronger bilateral partnerships, which are providing the diplomatic framework. You have CARICOM disagreements. Right now, listen to what Prime Minister Andrew Holness is saying about CARICOM. This is very important because the contention in CARICOM is not an ordinary situation. This is strategic. It is part of the plan to destroy CARICOM. CARICOM was already weakened even more, and is now being destroyed. This is basically where we are. So go again and read what the Prime Minister has said about the sister who was being nominated again. What's her name? Barnett, who is being nominated again to be the Secretary General or something to that effect. Listen again to what we're hearing from the Prime Minister. We also have competition with China. That is the biggest thing. So this provides a global geopolitical context. We do not need to go too far to understand what is happening. The bottom line is that there are many within the government of Jamaica who are lying to us about the third country deportation, the third country nationals. That interview with Audrey Marks, I listened to all of that interview. GIS interviewing, a brother from GIS interviewing Audrey Marks. And I think my advice to Audrey, because Audrey finds herself in the very same situation that Kamina Johnson-Smith found herself in when she went against the Commonwealth Secretary General and went to Rwanda to go run. It's the same situation. Nobody coming to help you. You're going to sort this out yourself. But my thing would be, stop talking. Because we understand, the more that you talk is the more you're digging yourself deeper in a hole. I don't want, as I said, I didn't want to say too much about Kamina at that time because, and it's a woman thing, I'm just standing up for the women because every time you have something big like this happen on a geopolitical stage, you find out women are on it. Kamina was on it the other day, and now we have Audrey Marks. And I prefer support these two sisters more than the patriarchal system that intend to throw them to the wolves. So my sister Audrey Marks, who I think come from St. Mary, don't it? Okay? That's St. Mary Audrey Marks come from. But she related to Ting the Man from Upso. Miss Henry used to work here. And also to Sophia. I'm just saying. But, so she's from St. Mary, and you know how we do this thing. So I'm just saying that Audrey, my sister, they are throwing you to the wolves. Stop talking. They're not going to protect you, This is politics. And you're an entrepreneur. We understand much more than you're saying, and we understand we have all the pieces. And Jamaica's gone into this for a reason, more than one. One is the money. Two is Jamaica wants to be part of a shield of the Americas. Andrew Holness visit to Suriname and Guyana especially. the Trinidad move right there. So we see how Trinidad is flexing because Trinidad is now emerging. We thought it was Barbados that was emerging as a leader of the Caribbean, but that is only on a passionate level. Trinidad is emerging as the leader because Trinidad is the little friend of America. And then you have Dominican Republic, who is also the little friend of America. So that's where the power lies. So Jamaica, under Andrew Holness, is really trying its very best to be in the in-group. It's like when you go high school and you have the in-group and they have the done spitting them. Well, no, the in-group usually don't. But you have the in-group and then you have the other children who are working hard, but they're not in the in-group for whatever reason. So Jamaica wants to be in the in-group. And that in-group includes the Dominican Republic, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana. That's in the Americas. Remember now, those countries are part of a shield of the Americas. If you're not in the shield, you're not covered. Go up and read up on the shield of the Americas. Andrew Holness wants to be part of the shield of the Americas. And I think he's quite likely going to be. It's the very same thing happening on the continent of Africa, you know. And I've always said, if you want to know how to understand how a particular imperial power is going to operate in the Caribbean, and in Jamaica in particular, look and see how they're operating in Africa, if they're there. And this was true with China. This is now true with America. So the U.S., through the America First Health Program, health policy, is literally forcing countries to take third country nationals. The corresponding policy of the America First Health Global Health Strategy policy in the Caribbean is called the Shield of the Americas. It is replacing the Organization of American States. The rules-based order is being ruptured. It is replacing the United Nations in this region, and it is swallowing up the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, the Monroe Doctrine, the Donroe Doctrine, all of those little doctrines that we have in this region. I'm totally out of time. But the bottom line is they are lying to us about this, and we must not let them continue. We must demand that they release the MOU that they have signed with the United States. Another thing we're watching is to see what happens with Haiti, because the temporary protective status for Haitians and Syrians and Libyans and so many others in America, the U.S. Supreme Court has given Donald Trump the right to get rid of them. That has been taken away. So let us see. In the Dominican Republic, we know that they have said in their MOU they signed with America, under the shields of America, that they will not take anybody from Haiti. That's one. And two, they see Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. That's two. And three, they see the Iran Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization. So we need to see the MOU, because I bet you anything it's very similar. Anyway, Mr. Bigay, what a way our boy go on good in? Jude Bellingham. Don't start with me.
Your boy.
Right. What a way I'm going good. Yeah. And considering that there was an article in the Daily Mail that says, don't send Jude. Keep Jude at home. In other words, they didn't want him on the team. I think I said it to you, Peter. Keep Jude at home. Well, that was before they'd call up the team. Right, because I found a way, and I was explaining to Peter how the Wagonist thing, I was trying to explain to you the Wagonist thing, but you're not buying into it, because how the Wagonist thing go now, you see a 4-team now, right? Which are the 4 teams? England.
Argentina.
Right. England. What the 4th one, Peter? You see, when people team not in it, they don't know what's going on. And because he's not a Wagonist. And Spain Is it Spain? Right. So my thing is, all the Wagonist thing work now. So you only have 4 to work with. So you have to determine now how you're going to latch on. Remember, I already tell you Mbappe, right? So you know how that go. And then now, remember, say any team apart from England. But as a Wagonist now, I have to circle back the wagon. Maybe I'll pick up Bellingham. Me have a circle.
You reverse or you made a full circle?
Me make a full circle, cause wagon. So me circle.
Walk down the reverse.
I ask for me, man. A horsepower.
Go all the way around Portugal.
Yes.
And Belgium and all the places.
Right, Norway.
Yeah, and then come right back to England.
Right, so because as a Wagonist, you have something to hold on to. So I now have Mbappe. So you notice me not calling country anymore. But you know it good because. So who you going with now? Oh, there you go. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Andy. What was it again? Fix it. Oh, you fixed it for Argentina too? That's where you are?
That's what FIFA.
Fixed it for Argentina, right? But you weren't with Argentina last week.
No, I'm not with Argentina.
Oh, okay. It's fixed for Argentina. Yes, you can say it's fixed for Argentina. So, Peter, you good? Where are you? Are you just watching? Shanice, how can I help you? Okay, so which team you're going with? I mean, I have a team. I said not English and I'm not interested in football. Okay, down. Well, thank you so much, Shanice. So anyway, so today's a rest day. Right. So we're going to know these things. That's what I tell you. We know. So the match not play today.
So are the genuine football enthusiasts?
Right, because you're either married to a genuine football. The Wagoners have a genuine football enthusiast somewhere, Either husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, something, somewhere. There's a genuine football enthusiast in it somewhere. Then you know this. You do your research then. You're Taurian. Mm-hmm. I know. So you want... There you go. So you want to call it? Who's going to win? Oh, fix it for Argentina. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, let us see. Are you going to Sumfest? Oh, that's why I see somebody else's name right in a red beside you for your name. You're not at work that day?
No, I'm working. I'm working at Sumfest.
Oh, you're working at Sumfest? Oh, but not in studio?
No.
Mm. So, okay, all right. Well, all the best. You'll come back and tell us exactly how that went.
Oh, yes.
Because, yeah.
I know
I
challenges that I love to see them overcome.
What are you, like what?
The traffic, the logistics.
So the parking at Civil, you think will make a big difference? What about
No, as I said,
you want to see it?
I want to see it.
What about no ticket at the gate?
All of these things, I want to see how it works. I don't want to come out and say it will work or it won't work. Because execution is 90% of the job. Innovation and conception is only 10%. Actually executing it is what is going to make it work.
Well, I'm feeling the excitement. I think it's going to be a good turnout.
I'm sure there's going to be a massive crowd.
Yeah.
One way or the other. It's just know how you handle it.
Right.
It's going to either make you win or you will have to
Well, I look forward to hearing you on Sunday morning. Or see, well, before that, because you're Saturday. No, you go Sunday. You go Saturday.
Yes.
You come work Sunday?
I don't think so because I expect
got tired.
to finish way in the wee hours. But I'll
You can link me, yeah.
As we always
As we always do. That's true, yeah. Even when we're there in Egypt.
What is your problem?
Even when I'm in Egypt, much less. You know. Yeah, no problem at all. All right, Peter. Who's going to win? Oh, you fix it for Argentina. What that's something if Bellingham and Mbappe win? I'm gonna put Bellingham over here and Mbappe over there. Because Bellingham is Jamaican, you know. Right. You mean the game is rigged? Oh, it's rigged. It's rigged. It's totally rigged. It more than appeared to me. It's rigged. When me can call it rigged, it must be rigged. Well, let us see, because the teams that are left, like so England now gonna put up with it, because this is the only place where they study hooliganism as a subject in academia. I'm not like hooliganism in football. So they are not going to put up with that, I don't think. So, anyway, this is how we say goodbye for today. We make way for the big A inside of this Sunday Sunshine. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Thank you. And thank you, Peter. Thank you, Shanice. Thank you, Antoinette. Thank you, Vivian. See you next week. Walk good and tell him other one. Howdy. Anything I should do, big A? I could do this, I could do this.
Buy more for less this summer. From cookware to curtains, comforters, and more. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
9 after 10, and the big A is up in just a moment.